this quick.
Yeah, and we're going to head into the game also really quick. Let's see what's happening in Game 1.
Thank you very much, General. We are getting into it. Game 1 between MOUZ and the South American Rejects. Both of these sides, Biglers, have a winner of PGL Wallachia in their squads. And I think it's one of these things where it's heartbreaking to know you have the capability to win a tournament, but still not make the playoffs. So this one, I think, of all the series today, maybe has the highest emotional stakes.
Emotional damage. The first hook, emotional damage as well. Pudge, of course, one of emotionally diverse heroes, the most emotionally diverse. If he can hit those hooks, you feel really great. If you miss hooks, not as much. So far, so good. Cogs are up.
Okay, Elmisho should be able to get out of here.
The new improved clock, of course. You can walk over cogs now, so that's kind of nice. You get hooked, you can use them and then just walk away. So, not too bad. By the way, Pudge already using all of his mana is quite a big deal.
Another big deal, they spent so much time chasing Elmisho that there was an opportunity for South American Rejects to collect all 4 bounty runes.
Oh yeah,
all of the heroes were making their chase.
Oof, that's a good start right there. They do this thing where they take the range creep down bottom. I've seen this like a new meta, new approach to the offlane. It's all right. Like you secure the range creep, plus you secure that the lane will be most likely pushed in. It won't be Schofield, by the way, playing Clockwork. That's one thing that we need to say. It's going to be Elmisho instead. So a little bit of a difference, but still. Clockwork, yeah, it's interesting, but it makes sense, right? Like in this kind of a game, why not put Clockwork with the Wind Ranger and Grimstroke that obviously has a lot of value with the Doom in the lane? Like you can sometimes switch the players, but it's all to their preference as well.
Schofield already doing his job, dragging in some waves for Frank to be able to farm up. Ike will do his best to interrupt this, but Schofield should get there.
You know what, like this is kind of interesting to me, because Grim plus Doom, level 1, do not strike me as a particularly weak lane into Phoenix and Tiny. You know, the problem is, of course, Tiny will deny a lot of creeps from you because he's got the damage advantage, but overall, I think that they could have maybe even just normally laned here, but okay, this was a massive drag under the tier 3 even.
Don't get to see this every day. Well, it's going to be some free CS and experience for Schofield.
The thing is, like the new Doom, well, somewhat new Doom, and the way you play him, you don't take Devour early on. You don't even take it on level 3 most of the time, right? Like you get 2 levels of Scorched Earth and you get Infernal Blade. So because of that, I might have expected them to duke it out a little bit. Like Doom is actually pretty good versus Tiny. You got max HP as damage as well, which isn't that bad.
On the other side of the map, Boom on his offlane Pangolier, dealing with this Wind Ranger ahead of him. Perseverance going to be coming out early. Is this going to be one of those Mage Slayer games coming out from the Pango?
Yeah, I think it's a good Mage Slayer game, for sure. It's decent. Like, you could go Diffusal this game as well. Pango, you know how I feel about the hero. When it comes to Pango and Sand King, I prefer both of them on the mid lane in the current state, but Pango may be a little bit more versatile than the Sand King when it comes to being played on offlane as well.
And how's our mid lane going here? Dark Margo versus Lorinov. As expected, the Kunkka is doing pretty well. Just X himself back. It's very funny to see this happen whenever it's into an Ember Spirit, because usually the Embers later on will do this with the Remnants. So it's like, yeah, this is how it feels, gang.
They can both do it, right? Like, the reason why he had to do it a little bit earlier is because of Yamage. He's still level 1, but he's had some impact. He's rotating around the map. He's taking Water Runes. Ember got his, so Kunkka needed to TP back.
So far, nothing crazy happening in these lanes. Elmisho will collect the Lotus. Boom. He's going to struggle to approach their lane a little bit as Yamich is doing some other shenanigans, trying to bring him a creep wave. He'll pull his own from the hard camper now.
Yeah, not the easiest lane for him as well. And now they're TPing Grim.
Bottom with Grimstroke. They want to try and go onto Yamich. Elmisho will throw out the Blood Grenade, receive the Inkswell, and close down onto this Pudge. Battery Assault is out, the damage is in, Cogs will hold him in position, and Elmisho not granted the first blood. It is claimed by that errant creep, but nonetheless, it's a kill onto Pudge.
Not too bad for Pango at least, because in the end, even though they do kill him, they double the wave. So the waves are going to push in down bottom, which is not something perhaps that they expected to happen, but yeah, from Pudge, his death was not totally in vain at least.
Boom will be like, thanks, gang. Just try to recover here. Elmisho will try to at least interrupt Boom while he's doing all of this. But eventually, Yamich will return to the lane. Wave, as you said, pushing underneath the tower, so Boom should be able to pick up some CS here. What build are we expecting here from Dark Margo? Of course, he's going to start off with the phase boots, but are we going Silver Edge this game? Do you want to see those Shivas build? Are we going even more old school into Radiance? What's the plan?
I didn't see any Radiance from him or Aghanims or anything like that. I've seen some Shadow Blades and stuff, just to be very active on the map, maybe some utility as well. We'll see. I don't mind the Silver Edge at all. I feel like the item is in a very good spot, so if any hero can buy it, if you need or if you do not need a break, it's still good.
Schofield came middle, was thinking about making something happen onto Laranov, but at the end of the day, Dark Margo's like, nah, I axed him, he's chilled, let's just keep farming. Does leave the Doom alone in the top side of the map, so we'll see if they try to play aggressively onto him.
It's very hard. It's very difficult for Phoenix plus Tiny to take him down. Like, if you want to aggress on the Doom, I think that you need at least an additional target.
Let's see, Laranov is about to crack 6. He's level 5.5, so they need to kill him now if at all. Elmisho making a rotation behind him. If they get the vision, they can get the X, but Yamich will interrupt the move by finding Schofield first. Schofield did get off a very good Inkswell, and with the cogs from Elmisho, they bring down Yamich. Laranov will at least throw out the Slide of Fist, getting the kill onto Schofield, but it's probably going to cost him his life. He gets boated. Fitz even shows up out of nowhere with the Wind Ranger.
That's 2 assists, I believe, for him. No, he only... Yeah, 2 assists because he got a kill as well. The power shot did connect on the first one, and now he gets... snatches the region rune, cheeky. Okay, takes it away from Kunkka. Kunkka already has like almost a full bottle, so probably shouldn't mind way too much. Nice rotation. Maybe this is what coach was telling him. Minute 6, I want to see you on the mid lane.
I mean, there were 4 heroes mid from the Radiant lineup. Minute 6. That's not something that you're expecting if you're Laranov in that moment.
I feel like we should start expecting it a bit more. A lot of carries are actually doing this exact move around the minute 6 mark, you know? Like, everything revolves around the first active rune. And if you can get it for your mid laner, it's a huge buff, because honestly, this minute 6 rune kind of dictates a lot. If you get it, you can contest the Wisdom Shrine as well.
Oh, the mid laner, though, he's going to also do a favor for the Wind Ranger and say, don't worry, gang, you come to my lane, I come to yours. Boom ends up going down. Yamich and Ike are also going to be in some massive danger here. Power Shot will eviscerate this Pudge. Fitz just needs a couple more right clicks, and Ike will grant him a triple kill onto this Wind Ranger. What can he do? No Icarus dive for a long time. Power Shot comes back, shoots him through. Phoenix is dead. A triple kill at the 7-minute mark for Wind Ranger.
Dude, I don't know what coach was saying, but he was right. I want that kind of a life coach to guide me through everything. But you see how it all connects. He took the region, he had enough resources to go back down bottom. It nets him a triple kill. They also contest the Wisdom Shrine. They do not get it, at least, because of that. But this, like, from minute 5 to minute 7, what you do as supports and as mid laner literally is the most important thing right now in the game, it feels like. Of course, down the line you can still recover, but it makes your game a lot easier if you do it right.
Dark Margo, the mid laner, is going to find Boom yet again, forcing out the Rolling Thunder. Shackle Shot doesn't latch. So Boom should be able to get out of here. No! Torrent interrupts the completion of the Rolling Thunder. He will end up dead, and on the other side of the map, Frank has utilized the first Doom of the game. And Crystallis will go down solo to the offlane Doom.
When they picked Tiny into the Doom, like, we were talking about it, right? Like here, as the draft was happening, he can solo him at most parts of the game early on. Top lane Frank.
We'll try to get revenge. Blood Grenade dropped on top of him. The Rock from Pudge should be enough to kill him. There's nobody nearby to help him out. But, oh, I saved that. Oh my goodness, the phase boost. He's actually gonna live.
Scorched Earth. Oh, the
He's
ward.
out. We'll get out the Fire Spirits, but it's too late. He's back into Fountain and he's safe.
What's happening to MOUZ, man? Like, I understand, okay, 8 kills to 2, sure, but 6k lead. 8 minutes in. There's a Doom as well. Devour does help, but it's level 1 Devour. You max out Scorched Earth, of course, right now. This lead is absolutely disgusting.
I mean, look where the Ember's net worth is. He's not even 3k net worth. And the Kunkka is out here about to get his second component, or the first component rather, of the BKB is being delivered as we speak.
I gotta say, this is probably one of the highest leads that I have seen this early on in the game of Dota in quite some time. It's absolutely massive. It's hard to just farm up 6k net worth across the map this early on.
How we've even seen like crazy Alchemist games at this tournament where the lead is not this stock at 10 minutes.
Just everything really working out for them. The lanes, all 3 lanes went well. The supports are out farming. On top of that, yeah.
Massive stack being taken by Dark Margo now as well. So he is going to be much more farmed. Also keep making sure that they keep the clockwork nearby to get him experience. He's already level 5.5, close to getting the 6 on him.
And on the side of MOUZ, they have one genuine playmaker, that's the Ember mid.
Who might actually not survive though, because he's going to get caught out with the Phantom's Embrace in between all the bounces of the cogs. Dark Margo making sure that he keeps the vision, and Lorinov, he is dead to right here. One more right click. And got him.
I was just getting there because you're playing this spirit. They kind of anticipate that Lorinov will be playing one of the spirits, right? That's literally his bread and butter, his best heroes. You picked Clock, Doom, and Grimstroke into it. There's just so much control on the other side. This Grimstroke hero, sure, he has a lot of benefits, but versus spirit heroes, the bug, the way our panelists call it, the Phantom's Embrace, it's just a beautiful spell.
Bottom lane, Focus Fire expended out onto Boom. Yet again, prevented from entering the Rolling Thunder. Dark Margo. It's kind of crazy how they're playing this game, right? They've been focusing a lot on making these rotations between mid and bottom, and they have so much confidence in Frank. They're just leaving him solo in the top lane. And so far, that confidence has been repaid.
He's level 9. Phase Boots, drums, going for consecrated wraps.
Here we go, Lorinov making his first rotation now, trying to get a kill. Misho, hook shot back towards the Ember Spirit. He gets doomed after being ensnared. He needs to get the hell out of here. They throw a blood grenade towards him. Crystallis trying to interrupt this with the Avalanche. Body blocking the Doom, not even playing aggressively, just trying to keep the Ember alive, but the Doom will end. Yamich hooks back onto Frank. Lorinov will return, throwing spells onto Frank, and Frank should end up ticking out here. Decent gold picked up. Boom with the Rolling Thunder cancels out the TP of Misho.
At least something. Like, they were 8k ahead at this point. They needed to get something going. Sometimes when you're feeling yourself a little bit too strong, you tend to make some mistakes, and realistically, that was one. You only brought 2 heroes into an enemy-infested jungle, so...
I mean, to be fair to them, they almost got some kills in that situation.
Yeah, almost. The key word.
Almost isn't good enough, you know. Army almost 1 TI. Pain and suffering. Lorinov will be able to snag the Haste Rune.
Yep.
So this could actually set up a play. He is lacking a little bit in the HP department, but not that far away from having the vessel as well. If he can get it fast enough, maybe they can set up for a play after that.
I would say this is already not fast enough. You know, like, not having it at this point when the Kunkao on the enemy side is almost full BKB done, by the way, on him. He's sitting on, what, 200-300 gold away from having a BKB. The vessel already won't do a whole lot against him. Eventually you can get some nice dispels on Grimstroke, of course. Yeah, we'll see.
How do they actually deal with the early Kunkka BKB?
You do have this member. You have Egg to also stun afterwards, but overall, yeah, you don't necessarily deal with it. You have to kite it out and hope for the best. Go on other targets.
Schofield will soak up some experience behind Dark Margo. He could decide to smoke. He is ready with the BKB. Grimstroke does have a smoke in the inventory. We'll see if they decide to make a move towards top. Fitz, also with the full Maelstrom, happily farming away. Closer and closer towards having the Mjolnir.
Their control is a bit more difficult on the side of MOUZ, that is. Like, when you look at the heroes, the execution is perhaps not as simple. On the other side, you have Hookshot, you have Kunkka X marks the spot, Soulbind. There's a lot of things that are kind of point and click, and you know that you're gonna get them. Meanwhile, Yamich needs to connect a good hook into this member for your teamfight to actually work.
I mean, no one's ever lost a Dota game relying on pudge hooks.
Absolutely, absolutely never. There's a smoke though, let's see.
Phoenix, they will not actually see him immediately. And they don't really want that to be the primary target. They're looking for a big one. Phantom's Embrace will
he gets
chase
it.
after the Ember Spirit. Shackle Shot goes after him as well. And finally, both of the spells will latch on the far end of the Remnant.
And
Fitz,
Hook.
who's right there with the Focus Fire. Hook Shot comes out in tandem with the Soul Bind. So they make sure they lock down Ember and the Phoenix. Elmisha with the double kill. Boom! Going for the Rolling Thunder. Got stuck in the cogs for a moment. At the very least, will be able to roll away from the Shackle Shot. But they have lost the Ember and the Phoenix, and the Tier 1 tower will be extra dessert for the side of SAR.
That's one very angry Dead Wife bug, by the way, following him from one rune to the other. Shackle Shot as well. Like this Ember, he played that right. There wasn't anything bad about his play. Like his reaction time was incredible, taking the rune, remnanting away, but still, it's Wits just being there. Again, every single big rune, he is there to just support his teammates. A very active playstyle so far from the Wind Ranger.
Yeah. He's extremely farmed as well. Not even at the top net worth, obviously that's the Kunkka, but was super close to having Mjolnir.
That's the carry you want in your games. You know, not some AFK jungle 24/7.
Well, Dark Margot has moved top. They are going to port in everybody to try and make a defense on this Tier 1. Jump in. Vitz not going to get caught because Elmisha had beautiful cogs into the Shackle Shot onto the Ember Spirit. Laronov in a lot of danger. He is going to end up dead. They have to retreat from the egg, and as it pops, Yamich tried with the Dismember to hold on to Dark Margot, but where is the follow-up damage? Yamich now losing his life towards Vitz. He dies. Phantom's Embrace onto Ike. He's gone as well. And at the very least, the Fire Spirits will take out Elmisho. But that is a very, very bad fight for the MOUZ side. Feels terrible to be in this position.
I feel like they're just dying way too easily. The spells that are being used, usually you can juke them, you can do something about it, survive for a little while longer, but when you look at the lineup of MOUZ, like their teamfight is not weak. Like you have Pango, you have Phoenix Seg, Avalanche to cover everything. But they're just way too far behind. This is a 10k lead 16 minutes in.
Jeez.
There's every single hero has like at least an item advantage at this point. And the Doom is, I don't know if he's killable anymore, honestly. Like this kind of a build on him, this is the bully Doom build, where you can actually chase targets under a tower. In the old patch with the original Consecrated Traps, it was even stronger. But it's still pretty good when you get him this early.
Vitz actually changed his mind towards finishing off the Mjolnir. Another angle towards the Manta style instead.
For the chains.
Yeah. Doesn't need to buy BKB, and boom. Trying to get away from Elmisho, will not be allowed to do so. There's going to be Phantom's Embrace, Shackle Shot. How many times are we going to see this combo? On the other side, they may be going onto Frank. Doom was expended onto Yamich. Frank still alive, and he will eventually take over. Takes Yamich with him, but definitely worth it for Crystallis. That's a lot of gold at this stage of the game. Kunkka, though, looking for immediate revenge for his comrade. Tiny, stunned up. They still need a little bit more, but here comes Vitz to provide that extra damage. Phantom's Embrace to prevent any spells from the Tiny. And Crystallis, his life will be forfeit as well, all across the map. Even if you take a kill, you're going to pay for it in blood.
Absolutely. This is a disaster game so far from MOUZ. They need to... I feel like at this point, getting these small skirmishes is never going to work because look at the map state. Every single Tier 1 tower is still standing on Radiant, right? So wherever you fight, like in this situation, you're fighting kind of on your side of the map. But there's more than enough time for Wind Ranger and Kunkka to TP and follow through. So at this point, I feel like smoking 5 heroes and just making some big-ass stand 5v5 teamfight is almost necessary for them.
Who needs to be careful. It's kind of an awkward game to play as well, right? You always feel like if you just show on the wave, you're 1 second away from being X'd, 1 second away from a hookshot. Forcing you to play very passively in the trees, in your jungle. But that means that there's less available farm across the team.
I feel like the only hero that doesn't really get bothered too much by the Phantom's Embrace is the Tiny on Dire. Everyone else just gets absolutely destroyed by it, by the way. And Grim got, what was it? Was it a first pick, first phase?
Oh, first pick, yeah. First overall pick.
First pick, first phase. You're playing Grim into Ember, into Pango, into Phoenix. Like, these heroes, yeah, they can't do a lot if they get affected by them.
There's that Grim again. Phantom's Embrace out onto Ake. Gonna get dragged back by the X as well. Not even an opportunity to attempt a supernova. Dark Margot gets the grab, gets the kill. Dominating streak for this Kunkka. He's 4-0 in 11, minute 19.
It's a lot of assists. You know, this is the kind of a game, guys. Can I get some kills, please? Stop stealing, please. Kills.
He might try to solo boom here. Has all his spells, but decides against it.
Yeah, without the Silver Edge, soloing heroes is probably not that easy for him. Maybe he can kill like a support, but Pango, Tiny, Ember probably will not die. They are smoking top though.
Yeah, Misho, Ritz, and Schofield. This is the kill trio going on yet another adventure. Crystallis is trying to farm in the safer place as he humanly can in front of the defender's gate. And it seems they will not find anybody. This is maybe the first move they've attempted for South American Rejects that hasn't succeeded so far.
Pretty much. The first one that doesn't yet connect.
Uh-oh. Let's see if it's a Costa's Curse. It might be. Phantom's Embrace out onto Boom, but it's a bit far enough away. Yamich was looking to trigger off the hook potentially. They will actually hookshot him instead. Yamich is almost certain to die here. And now we have a pause so he can really think about how much time he's going to spend in the fountain.
The only reason, by the way, that it didn't initially connect, they were blocking each other when it comes to the hook, and the Centaur Courser was just running around as well, just blocking the hooks from the Clockwork, so he couldn't go in. They still get a kill on Pudge here, for sure. The only question is just how many other kills will they get after. The Phoenix is kind of in a nice place. If they decide to fight around it, like they could use a Cliff Egg, but I don't think this is a winning team fight for them, especially with a dead Pudge from the get-go.
I mean, Laranov is nearby. Could maybe re-engage. I think the thing is that they don't know necessarily where this Wind Ranger is, so they might think that she's somewhere else farming. But they get the kill. Ike will just Icarus dive away. All 5 heroes of South American Rejects here in the mid lane. They won't be able to connect onto Laranov though. He does retreat into his triangle.
There's a DD. Roche is slowly walking through the river. I think the next easiest objective for our Rejects is to go into the pit.
Also no real rush at this moment in time. Almisho is just peppering the top side of the map with rocket flares, trying to get vision onto Crystallis. So Crystallis is aware that there's somebody hunting him down here. Fortunately for Almisho, he's already left before Crystallis can arrive. Not going to end up dead to the Tiny.
If they do manage to maybe get a hook off on Wind Ranger, on the positive note, I feel like there is still some kill potential bot lane.
This is not positive for Laranov, however. Phantom's Embrace, boats. Oh! They didn't chain it completely. He managed to get out by some miracle.
Yeah, he was quick. He was quick. It was the Phantom's Embrace. He managed to kill it very quickly.
Also, did you see Schofield went for the early Blink Dagger? So he can also initiate with the Inkswell?
I would actually say that this is not like a Schofield thing. This should be on everyone's radar. If you're playing Grimstroke right now, I think Blink is basically your core item. I actually don't think this is like something super out there or anything. Like Blink, Grim should be on your mind in almost every game. Especially when you're playing versus Spirits. Because the initiation is always the same with Grim. You blink in with the Inkswell on yourself and with the Phantom's Embrace. You want to blink on top of the target so you can use the Embrace immediately.
He also got lucky enough to get the shot, so that's an even better Inkswell. And he's going to be able to utilize it here as Yamich comes through, trying to contest for the Shrine of Wisdom. But yeah, not a battle that's going to go your way, my friend. Yamich, as he is dead, he's playing 4v5 on the map. Dark Margot does now have the Silver Edge. Oh no, Boom. Potentially in an awkward position here with this Rolling Thunder. Thankfully, he is able to maneuver himself into a safe place. So he's chilling.
Top as well, Phoenix manages to get away, but I mean, are we listing escapes as positives now for MOUZ? I guess we are, because that's the only thing that they can do, run away.
Okay, what items are coming soon? Laranov, very close, as close as he can be to a
mid lane, though.
Mid lane. Frank, my god, he took literally no damage.
Even if they catch him here, he's got BKB.
Oh no.
He's definitely not dying. If Tiny has like Silver Edge at this point and hits him from it, maybe there's damage, but he's even going for BKB next. So in a losing game like this one, going for a BKB is... It can work, but I feel like you need to be a bit braver, you know, just all in on the damage output.
Starless is down bottom with Laranov nearby. They're going to try and aggress onto Almisho, but little do they know there's a smoke right behind them. There goes Schofield. Huge soulbind onto Yamich as well as Crystallis. There's the double doom as well. Pudge going to be the first one to fall. Next up is going to be Crystallis as the boat crashes in on his face. He dies. A double kill for Vitz. They even brought down Ake on the far side, almost as collateral damage.
Pretty much. You could see that Grimstroke with the Blink and Soulbind is also very strong. The unfortunate thing for him is that Doom does not have his. So, I mean, in this situation it didn't matter because he was fast enough. But he almost didn't manage to get the double Doom off. The outcome would be literally same.
Well, the panel was saying you only get double Doom maybe once a game. And now, Nisho getting the hook out onto Boom. Does get off the Rolling Thunder, but Focus Fire is still extremely scary. Thankfully, Wind Ranger is not fast enough, so he'll be able to roll to safety.
Konka still chasing. Okay, we'll give up in the end. They can literally decide to go rush whenever they want to, whenever they feel like. I don't think that there is a way for Dire to fight them at the moment. Perhaps when the BKB is up on Crystallis, they can attempt a fight. They have level 12 on Phoenix Egg as well. And the Phoenix Destroyers on the other side aren't really that great. You can't focus fire the Egg. You don't really have a lot of attack speed on any of your heroes. That's like one thing that I can see going well for MOUZ in the next fights.
They are about to hit that timing of having BKB on both Tiny and Ember Spirit. So perhaps the next fights not be as disastrous. Unfortunately, the next fight will also include an Aegis, as Roshan is being taken very, very quickly. Aegis for Vitz. Extra gold buys the Blink Dagger for this Doom. But on the bright side for MOUZ, the opening of the Roshan did give them time to take the tier 1 tower bottom.
Minute 25, nothing to write home about, but at least you open up the map a little bit.
Schofield coming across this Pudge. Nobody nearby him at the moment, but he might be able to almost solo kill the Pudge. Not something you see every day.
Grimstroke and soloing heroes, unless it's like some mid lane Grim, you know, or it's a very rare sight.
Tier 2 tower claimed on the top side of the map. And Vitz, man, this guy literally has been everywhere. Been playing so high tempo on this Wind Ranger. Not just sitting back and farming, but giving his team what he needs, taking objectives, ensuring that he gets involved in fights. He's 8-0-10 for a reason.
Everything is working out for them, but they did buy some time, bot lane. Lorenov should be fine because he also has a BKB. So when you look at MOUZ, the time is now. Like, you have a BKB on Ember, BKB is there on the Tiny.
You say MOUZ are John Cena fans?
Pretty much. You can't see them anywhere.
Well, we can't see Ike right now. He's about to lose his life towards Vitz. Oh, maybe I speak too soon. Icarus dive to the high ground. He got saved by Yamich's hook. Very good support play there.
He's going for Aether Lens next. He's got the Blink on Pudge, going Aether Lens. There's like another play, like a mini tactic that they can use in the upcoming fights. That's if it does come to the high ground defense, perhaps you can rely on some crazy hooks under the tier 4s. I mean, get them out of position, maybe some tossbacks as well. You have to rely on tactics at this point. Like, when you're playing this far behind, just head-on fights, like normal, honest Dota, usually does not work.
Frank will go back top to defend the tier 1, while Vitz will complete the tier 2 tower middle. There's only one outer tower remaining right now, minute 27 almost. And they're going to start moving towards that part of the map, take over the triangle, just reduce the areas where MOUZ can play anywhere.
By the way, I love these Giga Chat Doom builds, where you're literally playing almost without any auras. The only aura you have is Drum's aura, but that's because you want to move faster. It's a solo kill potential Doom. Bot lane, Lorenov does have BKB, remember.
He's gonna get pushed back. Phantom's Embrace is out. Pops the BKB, trying to TP out. I don't know about this gang. X marks the spot, will be there. Will it come out? No, he's okay. He's chill.
He's fine.
Still 9 seconds.
It was really close from El Mishu to burn all of his mana, though. If he managed, that's a dead Ember. With or without the BKB.
Well, hell, even if Kunkka just arrived a moment earlier and he had the cleave, probably would have killed him. Dark Margo is also super stacked. Silver Edge, BKB, SNY. What can my man not do right now? And he's gonna find another kill. Yamich, Sazoji. Nothing you can do about this one. You will dismember to buy some time. And that will enable Wits to come in, get himself a godlike streak, 9-0-10 on the Wind Ranger. Okay, so what do you think about this Lincoln Sphere coming off Alarnoff? Is the game in that state that he needs to be this defensive? He doesn't have his BKB for another 35 seconds. Oh no, he is certainly dead. The Doom probably wasn't even necessary, but Frank will take no chances, ensuring that Alarnoff does go down. Ember dead, bottom, Boom trying to roll himself away. Wits had the focus fire out on top of him. Still doing a significant amount of damage. Gonna force out the TP, so he should be able to get home safely.
Damn, like, the game is just so oppressive towards MOUZ. There isn't really a single move that they have made in the last, I don't know, 10 minutes, 28 minutes more or less.
It feels like, but where is the move? If they don't have damage, they don't have survivability, they don't have a map to play.
The moment they got the BKBs, Rosh falls, right? So you don't really want to use the BKBs in the big fight into the Rosh. You're already at a big disadvantage, but I expected them maybe to attempt something. Just wait for the Tiny to hit hard, I suppose. He's got Harpoon now.
I'm gonna bring everybody down bottom, hoping to defend the tier 2. It was only Wits. Oh, nice hook, but Aeon just gets triggered out immediately from Schofield.
He's alone though.
Yeah, they're gonna just leave him. Schofield goes down. Nicely done.
Yeah, that's a beautiful kill. At least, you know, you defend your tier 2 tower, you recognize that they're not all there. And the smoke, there we go. 4 against 5, I suppose, is a good place to start.
The problem is, since they've been zoned back so far on their map, they don't have any vision. Right now, South American rejects are playing very freely, just moving as they wish. You have observer wards that were planted out around the triangle. So they're probably aware of the kind of move that's being attempted. Laranov will just walk by the Kunkka. Still can't find anybody. Misho, though, he is going to be the one that gets targeted and killed off. But will this be the end of the fight? They now isolate and see Dark Margo. He still has the BKB ready to go. Will eventually end up popping it. And they don't have a further reveal after he activates the Silver Edge.
Really stepping in.
He's
they have
running
Doom as well.
Frank is coming, ready with the Doom if he wants to. Schofield is also there with the Soulbind, and actually Dark Margo went back in. No more BKBs available from him, so they might be able to kill him. Ghost Ship, though, applies the Coco Rub, delaying this fight a little bit longer. Supernova finally comes out, and it's gonna help with the damage to kill off the Kunkka. As he goes down, the egg will pop, stunning up Vince. Vince is gonna fall. Laranov able to collect that kill, and now Frank has to run. Schofield will try to run a distraction behind, but it's not gonna be good enough. He ends up dead. Yamich misses the hook. So Frank, at least, is the one to escape. But a 4-for-1 trade. Yes, Crystallis dies, but Lizard, they got 4,000 gold out of that one engagement.
Yeah, that's such a weird fight from South American rejects. Like, they were in a pretty good spot. They waited for the Grim to TP in, right? But I think he just blinked somewhere next to the secret shop, which didn't allow him to get in with the Soulbind fast enough. And the Doom was late too. And I believe Soulbind actually connected on the Phoenix, right? And he just presses egg.
Yeah.
And it just deletes the Soulbind off of him, so it doesn't really work, it doesn't really do a lot. And the next one that is doomed is Tiny. Plus Dark Mago already lost his BKB completely. And you see how far Schofield is from this, and Frank. Everything was kind of too late. Just beautiful execution from MOUZ, though. They pounced on this opportunity when they had 4 against 5, and they instantly score.
When that team fight started, they were 14k gold behind. Now it's only 8. It's a pretty drastic change of affairs. And I think most importantly, it gives you belief, right? You're like, look, guys, we can actually take these fights. We do, with the right execution, we can still get back into this game.
Oh, absolutely. With this kind of a team, I actually think this fight brought them back in the game. It was dire straits, but they're in a decent spot right now. 7k advantage, 32 minutes in. Not insurmountable.
Laranov in the gang. Not that much mana available for this Ember Spirit. Does have a bottle to pop if needed. And his Lincoln Sphere is actually complete off the back of that fight.
Yep. It's very important, this game, by the way. I know you asked it. We didn't really continue on the topic. Like the Lincolns on Ember, this game, not only for Doom, of course, there's just so many spells that are very annoying for you. Of course, that also means that there is a lot of spells that can break it. But whatever you break with the Lincolns, I feel like is value.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're not getting shackled.
As long as you can press BKB instantly as the Lincolns gets popped, I think you're fine.
Margo comes across Lorinov. He does still have a BKB ready to go. Phantom's Embrace will be there, but able to kill it and jump off. There's going to be the Lincolns popping, and they get the Doom out on top of him right after the Lincoln Sphere is used up. He is gone. Yamich gets broken on the far side of the fight. Another Phantom's Embrace to ensure this Pudge will not be going anywhere. He ends up dead. A double for Frank. And South American Rejects reminding us that, hey, that fight's good for you, but we are still extremely powerful at this stage of the game.
Absolutely. I think he greeded out a little bit on the BKB. It's 7 seconds. I'm not really sure why. You could have popped it there. The torrent then doesn't connect, but of course he maybe didn't anticipate the torrent as well to connect.
Oh boy. Well, no outer towers remaining. Roche is available. South American Rejects probably go and collect the next Aegis, get another banner for themselves. And this next push, I don't think there's any reason for them to wait, right? They're going to have Daedalus not too long from now for VICI, so maybe that's the only thing that you hold out for, but the other items don't feel like they're fully necessary to break the high ground at this stage.
Pretty much straight into the pit. The only question is just how easy is it for you to take high ground? But hold that thought, maybe there's a fight here brewing.
They got scanned. They're coming, they're on the way. Schofield gets the vision on the high ground, quickly blinks back. And his team able to complete the Roche? No problem.
Yeah, they've got a couple of items, of course, coming up. You mentioned the Daedalus on the Wind Ranger, also Shiva's on Kunkka. He already has Satanic, by the way. It's just a massive Kunkka. He's making the Zero look kind of broken, even though, like, I don't... When's the last time you saw Kunkka in your pubs? That's like a very good metric. You know, if the hero is played, it's probably good. If you don't see him almost ever,
I mean, when's the last time you even saw Attacker stream with Kunkka?
Yep. I mean, to be fair, Dark Mago is playing it, right?
It is Dark Mago.
But he's the only one.
Yeah. Is anybody on planet Earth allowed to play Kunkka and make it look busted? It's going to be this guy. It's like some Excalibur Tinker or something.
Look at Lorinov, by the way. This is some ninja move right here. Deep wards from the Ember Spirit. Wants to maybe get a wave as well.
Does have the safety remnants. Kills El Misho's courier. Must feel nice. And it's only the Doom here, so
yeah,
should be fine to get out.
They're resorting to guerrilla tactics right now.
Asymmetrical warfare.
Yeah, they gotta hit them from behind.
Lorinov has another remnant, gets out. El Misho, though, finds him. These guerrilla tactics will eventually be brought to an end, but the Doom doesn't arrive in time. Lorinov able to zip away, having activated the BKB. Yamich with the hook to drag him onto the high ground. Will keep it safe.
They're playing the map really, really fast, but the guerrilla strats, the rat strats are still sort of working. Crystallis has his Daedalus, he's pushing out bot lane. Like they're spreading them thin right now. Usually the strat when you're playing versus Aegis and when you're this far behind Tango.
Is he going to be fine? Does manage to stun off Vitz, so stalling out some of the damage from the focus fire. And Vitz did not want a BKB just for that, so lets him go.
This is more or less Pango's job, the way he's playing. Kunkka.
Crystallis is actually right behind them. He was about to wander onto the high ground. They got him with the X. They force out the BKB. El Misho, though, still going to be able to find the hook. Yamich, though, yet again, turns out he's working for the Salvation Army, keeping another one of his teammates alive.
Yeah, I wonder if... well, it's definitely worth it for El Misho to put himself out there, right? To get hooked instead. Because you have Battery Assault, he can't dismember you. There's no follow-up. Plus he's got Crimson and Force Staff. Maybe they could have controlled the Tiny a little while longer.
Problem is, Tiny did have to pop his BKB, so he's extremely vulnerable for the upcoming skirmish. South American Rejects, they know that. There's no better time to go than now.
No BKB on him. I believe Ember's BKB is just now coming off cooldown, so a pretty good timing.
Half of the Phoenix's HP was taken with one swipe of the Kunkka sword. Forced to get back. Boom, though, running interruption with this Rolling Thunder. They are going to get some stuns out onto the Kunkka. Kunkka gets dragged deeper into the base, dismembered. Crystallis trying to beat him down, but Frank blinks on top of him with the Doom. looking towards the Tiny. Supernova is used up, and Lorinov able to bring down Kunkka. Fitz can't take out the Supernova in time. It will go off, it will stun out this Doom. So Frank will lose his life as well. All of a sudden, Fitz isolated on the high ground, surrounded by MOUZ. The defense has been mounted.
The defense has been mounted to perfection, by the way, but this is the only part of the game where MOUZ actually thrives right now with the draft that they've got. You have Tossback, you have Hook, you have Pango for the chaos in the backlines. Kunkka felt a little bit too safe. Why? Because of Satanic. But look at this. There's a ghost on Pudge, so he tries to hit Pudge to heal up. Pudge just ghosts. You don't heal, you don't hit. He goes for the Phoenix, he tries to heal on Phoenix, Phoenix just eggs. And that's it, Kunkka was dead. From that point, he's literally just gone.
It's all three core heroes that have died, and now MOUZ are coming forward, hitting the tier 2 tower. Big Lizard, bro. How is this game even on gold?
I mean, yeah, when you just lose all your cores on the high ground that way, it can be. I think the push just wasn't disciplined enough.
This is one of the craziest comebacks I've seen. If they are the ones to get the first high ground building, that is relatively astonishing, and you don't want to buy back on the Kunkka at this point. Doom and Wind Ranger do not have access to the buybacks.
You know, there's a lot of big items that we didn't really talk about. The Diffusal on Pango, the Hex on Phoenix now as well. You know, these heroes, now they have ways of actually fighting a fair fight. It's no longer guerrilla warfare. They can come out of the woods.
And at this point, look at the Tiny as well. This giant small with the Daedalus. A lot of damage that the big man deals.
He's one-shotting at this point. Like, if he finds a Grim or a Clock, he is basically one-shotting them. Or two-shotting with the Echo Saber.
They're actually going to smoke, playing aggressively now on the side of MOUZ. But will we have anybody reveal themselves through the mid lane? Nope, South American rejects smoke themselves, so they want to take this fight. Perhaps they saw Dark Margot, but they don't know exactly where he is. Daytime now, some bonus vision is available. Lorinov was trying to go directly onto Schofield. Will instead content himself with finding out Frank, but Frank pops his BKB to try and find a Doom onto somebody. There's the Soulbind on the back end, but Frank can't get there. Finally, the double Doom will emerge. Yamage and Boom caught out, but they need the right-click damage. Yamage is going to be the first one to fall. Dark Margot looking towards at least chasing Crystallis. Crystallis gets brought down by Vitz and Frank. Dark Margot isolating Boom and killing him. Vitz with the double kill. 4 for nothing. The hell is happening in this game, homie?
I have no idea. This game is so back and forth. This is like... By their own volition, they chose to fight into the double Doom. Of course, Lorinov will clean up the Grimstroke at least.
Okay. Lorinov, not really much more he can do here, so gets out with the Remnant before El Misho can catch him.
There's
Vitz though and Frank, look where they are. They're on the high ground, just pushing rags.
They're pushing like two sides at the same time. Witz is on top lane already, Doom is pushing mid. There's an MVI this game, and that's Aeon Disc, by the way, on the Grimstroke. Like, absolutely massive. They tried to jump him with basically everything they've got to prevent the double Doom, to prevent the Soulbind, the Phantom's Embrace. He just walks it off. You know, pretty nice item to say on Disc.
2 lanes of rags taken. They might be looking for the Megas. There's no buyback available on Crystallis for 30. Boom also in the grave for 40. So how do they stop this? Lorinov, his BKB still on cooldown for 45 seconds. Yamage will get the hook out onto Frank. They hex him up as well. Sunray will be there. They're putting in the percent-based damage, but it's just not enough. Frank will activate the Shivas, just run away. Supernova does come out, and they will be zoned away from the high ground, but what do they care? They've already claimed the Megas. Nice hook onto Dark Margot. He does have a BKB though. He will BKB, TP out. The Torrent will also interrupt the further attacks. So he will escape. El Misho though probably gets sacrificed for this. Yep. Still a trade you'll definitely take for the side of South American rejects.
He hooked in, trying to save his Kunkka for a little while longer. Unfortunately feeds away the gem, but yeah, they pretty much got what they came for, right? The mega creeps are up, 12k advantage. Okay, MOUZ, your time. Let's see. Let's see how they win this next team fight.
I love how you take it as a foregone conclusion that they win the next fight.
They're absolutely winning it. 1000%, it's happening.
Can we see the graph? I want to see it go up and down, and like spiking at all these team fights. 42 minutes in. It's 11k lead for the South American rejects. Oh my god.
That's
yeah. Not an average game of Dota, I can tell you that.
That's a trench right there.
So what is the play? What big items are emerging from MOUZ? They still looking for the MKB for this Tiny.
Yeah, he tried that last fight around the mid lane. They tried 1v1 versus the Wind Ranger on Tiny. It didn't really work out. He also got cogged. But of course he does need the MKB for that to work. And what's kind of nice for Tiny is Harpoon build-up, right? Like the way you build Harpoon, the fact that you build Harpoon and that it's core item, you're much better versus some of these heroes that used to just juke you 24/7. You can just get Harpoon, follow the Wind Ranger through the Wind Run.
Look at Boom's build. He's been the one that's been collecting a lot of these massive streaks, so you can see how absolutely ridiculously farmed he is. Octarine, Blink, Mage Slayer, Abyssal Blade, Ags, Nullifier. Are you kidding me? Even with the Prophet's Pendulum to keep him alive?
The thing is, like, who is the crucial target for them to eliminate? If you're playing Dire right now, I feel like it's either Doom or the Wind Ranger. They're so massive, though.
Doom himself jumps forward, 5 damage, and they should be able to get an easy kill onto this Pudge, but at the same time, Crystallis was trying to bring down the Elmisho. Loranov, he re-engages in the fight. Damage isn't dead yet. The Supernova goes off, stunning up the Kunkka. Dark Mago needs to get out of here. Spirit Vessel's on top of him. The damage from Loranov will chase him, and he's actually going to die. Boom got doomed, but he's already in the Rolling Thunder. Frank trying to stand his ground against Crystallis. The buyback on Dark Mago. They want to re-engage with this Kunkka. Loranov, though, chasing down Vitz. Him and Yamich, they might have this Wind Ranger dead to rights, and she will go down. Crystallis, though, will also be joining her in the grave. Doesn't have buyback, unlike the Wind Ranger. So they end up losing out on the Tiny. Yamich caught out now by Frank and Elmisho. They should be able to get that kill. Loranov, he needs to escape. Just throwing out these remnants, chaining them together. Look at how paranoid he is. Goes all the way back into Fountain. They actually just call GG. Technically, they did win that fight. However, South American Rejects had more buybacks available, so they win the subsequent fights. They did win it. They did win it. You were right.
Yeah. Whew. This fight did look kind of good because they managed to waste the Soulbind or force the Soulbind only on a...
This one, let's find out with Snare and Lizard.
Thank you very much, Shiva. You heard it from Captain Lacoste, Big Liz, that there's a lot of aggression from South American Rejects and not necessarily that much playmaking, that much expression on the map coming in from MOUZ. So if you're the coach, one final thing to tell these MOUZ players what to do. How does this draft approach this game? How do they get the victory here?
You know what, like on the cameras, I saw the coach leaving. Didn't look way too happy, by the way, but of course, I think that you can encourage your boys. Like, the Largo is still a very good Aghanims player. He believes in it. They believe in this last pick. I have my reservations, perhaps, when it comes to the hero in general right now and how worthy he even is to be given that first Aghanims. I don't think there is anyone better, though, on their side in this draft to get the Axe. The first Axe needs to go to him. But the hero got nerfed so heavily. Let's see.
We shall see how this all unfolds. Crystallis will be able to at least get an early stun out onto Schofield, being slowed down by these napalms. Will they be able to get him? Seems like no. Schofield beating a beautiful track away.
Maybe Hoodwink is also, by the way, rotating, taking the Bounty Room perhaps, and also going for the Grimstroke. So maybe there's some kill potential here if he doesn't manage to TP out immediately. He does have boots. They're smoking mid already, by the way. What's going on? What the hell is this? What are they cooking?
Dude, you told me the rotation is at 6 minutes, not at 6 seconds. The hell is this? Top lane, Crystallis gonna be able to throw the stun out onto Schofield. Blood grenade is there, and Schofield is gonna be first blood. But first, middle. Loranov, he's getting ganked by 3 heroes. This early on into the game, he will end up losing his life. You're not expecting a carry case to be there before minute 1.
Yeah, the crazy part is he didn't really lose a lot down bottom on Kaz because the lane is... Okay, now he does lose a couple of creeps in the end, at least that's something. Let's see, the laning stage is very important this game, I gotta say. And killing off Viper like this is a good step. It's very important for MOUZ, though, to still continue pressuring. I think Batrider is still a very good laner, right? So on top lane versus Lardar versus Grim, maybe the Bat will do a bit better than the position 5 they had in the last game.
Well, on the bright side, though, yes, Lorinov did die, but he wasn't the first blood. That first blood happened on the other side of the map.
Yep.
So at least they are the ones that got more of the gold out of the early engagements for the side of MOUZ.
One of the things that panel did discuss is the lick. Like pretty strong versus both Kaz and Crystal Maiden. You can dispel the dot, by the way, from Kaz through. So it's not that bad. The lane itself, at least, is pretty strong. The problem for Largo in this kind of a game, for me, occurs after Kaz and Slardar start playing together. Because Largo, he likes these long fights where he's able to juke, jive, you know, dodge. If you're corrosive hazed and Largo is using Phantom's Rush on you, you're pretty much dead. With or without the songs.
Let's see how Boom is going to be able to perform here. So should be fine in the laning phase, but like you say, Slaughter, I'm really focused on the Slaughter. They need to make sure that this guy doesn't have one of those Slaughter games. And those have been most of the Slaughter games at this tournament.
15 Slardar games have been like that, right? Like he has 15 Ws and a lot of games where our offlaners are just literally carrying the game from the offlane. I don't think I've ever seen as many games where Slardar is top net worth and top experience as well as in this tournament.
Yeah. Schofield made a rotation towards middle. They want to try and play into Lorinov. Inkswell will be there. Blood grenade thrown out, and there's going to be the swashbuckle as well.
They lost their both Viper games prior to this one, right?
Yep.
That's one thing as well that is maybe not that great top lane.
They might try kill Frank here on the Slaughter. They got a big stun out on top of him, slowing him down with the napalms.
Grim is coming.
Frank is falling lower and lower, but Schofield is on the way. He'll come through. No Inkswell just yet. He doesn't have the mana for it. Frank able to get a stun out onto Crystallis. Will Crystallis throw it in time? He does, but he can't chase him on the high ground, so Frank will live in the end.
They managed to save him with just showing up as Grim. Basically, right? Alleviating a little bit of that pressure. Batrider went for Grim. Maybe he should have continued chasing the Slardar as well. In any case, Pango is guerrilla mode. Skipping the waves. He doesn't want to play against the Viper anymore.
Will finally die.
Okay.
Crystallis is going to find a way to get the kill.
Greeding out a little bit, right? Like not going to the base instead of staying in the lane with low resources.
That sort of saves the Crystallis, right? Because he'd missed the wave chasing after the Slaughter. I thought that was going to be bad for him, but if you get back a kill, all of a sudden that time is well spent.
Oh, that's... We have a lot of low CS heroes across the map right now, and most of them are on Radiant, so far so good for MOUZ.
Down bottom, Vitz is also in the low CS department. As you said, this lane is quite strong. They haven't been able to find an opportunity to bring down Elmisho just yet. In fact, Elmisho's left. He's going mid. Guys, the hell is this, dude? If Lorinov comes a bit too far forward, he might get frostbitten from the high ground. And now they know that he's alone. Vitz getting aggressed upon. Bushwhack beautifully expressed onto this Kiz. He will try to throw out something to get himself out of here. But eventually, Vitz will end up dead, or will he? From the high ground, can Yamich find the vision? Boom, there with the lick. And that is going to be a kill on the Kiz. But at the same time, Lorinov suffers his third death of the game in the mid lane.
I think just bullying Lorinov is way more impactful. Like, whenever you're playing versus a Viper, you want to make his lane as ugly as he is. And that's what they're doing. Like, he's 0-3 on the Viper. This hero does not recover very well. No matter what kind of an item build you go for. In the last patch, when Viper was broken, yeah, sure, you could like kill him a couple of times. He still comes back with the Aghanims, with the Shard, with the maxed out Nether Toxin. Like, most Vipers don't even max out Nether Toxin anymore early on, and they're quite susceptible to just feeding. Top lane, Schofield.
He's going to be in some danger here. Frank is trying to go around the corner. Inkswell not going to be there, but Elmisho TP's in with the Frostbite. Frank has the Slithering Crush, ensuring that Ake does go down in the end. Speaking of this Batrider, we were hearing from the panel, right? Oh, hold on, bottom lane. Vitz in trouble
lick
on the Kiz. Beautiful lick to get him away from the grappling claw, but not enough damage in the end. Still, though, he's going to come across Yamich, but Yamich doesn't have Bushwhack just yet. Does have the mana for it if he pops his wand.
Yeah, he used the ward as well to scout him. Witz is struggling. This is Struggle City down bottom. Lowest net worth core, by the way.
Okay, this is good. You were saying you want the laning phase to go much better for MOUZ, and this is definitely going to help. But
Unless...
Ike? No. Okay, he's fine. Okay, so actually, it's a good time to talk about Ike, right? Commander Tigov was saying about this Batrider that,
Commander Tiga.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the General Shiver, Commander Tiga. What's the cost?
He's a captain.
Captain, okay.
Captain Lacoste.
Radiant
Who's
Well,
Colonel?
Who's Colonel? Jenkins can be a Colonel.
Okay. Fair enough.
And then since he's new, Private Viha.
Wits?
Again, getting gone on. Wits will be able to get himself out. And now, though, Dark Margo has made his first rotation. Comes bottom with the Inkswell. Will trigger it out onto Boom. Rolling Thunder will be there as well to cancel the TP of this Hoodwink. But they will want to chase the high priority kill. Stroke of Fate will chase him to get the vision. He's still alive, though, on this Largo. In the meantime, Vitz gets brought down by Yamich and Ike on the far side. Ike will pay for it with his life, though. A tower shot brings him down.
They're slowing down the Kez quite a lot. You know that combo that we talked about of Slardar plus Kez? For that to work, Kez needs to have something at least. And so far, not a lot. Boots plus Band of Elven Skin in the inventory doesn't fill you with confidence. Of course, he will be going for the Mage Slayer build. He does have Slardar on his team, so Corrosive Haze plus Mage Slayer really good against Largo.
Okay, I'm finally going to talk about this Batrider. What do you make about Batrider in position 5 instead of position 3 or 4?
I think it's all right. I love to see a Bat when he's able to dominate an offlane. If the game is like that for him, where he can just, you know that the lane is good, this kind of a game, it's probably a much better lane for Largo as the last pick. I think that's one of the reasons why they switched it up, because top lane Bat is better, and Largo on offlane is better. So switching these two things up made a lot of sense. You get a Dispel on bottom, and you get a hero that is naturally pretty good versus Slardar on top.
The man who we just saw on screen right now, Boom, yet again playing aggressively into Vitz. Lost the Frog Stomp behind the tier 1 tower, but they're not going to go in just yet. They're waiting for Ake to show up. He's coming closer. Boom. They have vision. This Observer that was planted earlier by Yamich is providing a lot of value. Beautiful grappling, but it's not going to be enough for Vitz. They need Frank to come in as well with the TP. The Lick is going to be out. Vitz, will he finally die? No, he won't. Frank prevents the Batrider from chasing him. So he's the one that gets credit for the kill instead. Nobody else from MOUZ can stop him.
They're really trying to make chaos on the map on the side of MOUZ. You see, like, these kind of moves bringing all their heroes down bottom.
Wits! Oh, Yamich. Beautiful. He had the patience to remain behind, ensure they find the kill, and now Boom will just charge onto El Misho, not going to allow him to get through the Twin Gate. It's now a double kill for Yamich.
Yeah, the chaos is definitely made. They managed to absolutely obliterate this bot lane. Between the Hoodwink and Largo, we did say that this is a pretty strong lane, especially when you're building the Largo the way he is with Phase Boots. It's not really the most common build, but you do see it every now and then. When you go for Phase Boots, you are basically saying that you want to be in the lane. You're not going back to the jungle most of the time.
Rolling Thunder, they want to try and maybe go on to Boom here. He doesn't manage to actually get the channel off there. Wait, what happened? Did he just cancel it himself?
Was it a... It seems like he cancelled it, yeah, because it's on cooldown.
That's very strange. Largo will escape as a result, but at least on the other side, they did get Yamich.
Wait, what exactly happened to the Rolling Thunder there?
Can we get a replay on that? That was very strange. Ike gonna find himself in the eyesight of this Dark Margo Pango. El Misho will come through with the Nova, finish him off in the end.
Still get some kills.
On the bright side for all of this, right, they finally alleviated some pressure onto Larinov by constantly skirmishing down bottom. They're not aggressive onto him. Oh no, Costa's curse. My bad, Larinov. I didn't mean to do it. He's gonna be kept alive by Boom, though. Dark Margo gets punished for his aggression, but the freezing field of El Misho makes sure that Larinov does die. Now Yamich trying to run himself away, but Frank will not allow it. Killing off the Hoodwink. Boom. Also with the Phantom's Embrace and Corrosive Haze on top of him. Now a Raptor dance from Vitz. Looks like he might die here, but he starts strumming, singing the song. He's kept alive for a little while longer. El Misho went in for the Frostbite. Instead, all he finds is a Frog Stomp and death.
Largopa actually having some impact as well with his ulti, as it has been changed. You don't really need the Aghanims any longer to deal a bit of damage with it. Alchemist didn't TP. Maybe they could have gotten another kill if he continued. He cancelled his TP. But nice rebuttal, you know, saving the Viper for a little while longer. I have one problem with what you said, though. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he just cancelled it.
Cancelled, okay.
Yeah. I think the lick messed with him a little bit, you know? Like, he got licked, it resets a little bit. He thought that he had to press it again, and he cancels it instead. But when it comes to Viper, do you want a Viper that you alleviate pressure from? This is a hero that's supposed to applying pressure.
I know, but what else are you supposed to do?
True.
You know, he got ganked 3 times by like minute 3. It's like, guys, okay, we need to, like you said in the previous game, right? You can't rely on normal solutions. You have to sort of think outside the box.
Yep, absolutely. And they are smoking up already. Thinking outside of the box by putting Kez mid now instead. Not letting him suffer down bottom.
Dark Margo and Schofield don't really have great vision. They do scan. They actually expended both of them. And Boom is not going to get caught out by it. So he's chilling.
By the way, look at the highest net worth on Radiant. Once again, it is this boy. It's the Slardar. Like, how the hell?
Nah, this can't be allowed in the playoffs.
You know what? Like, this hero, once you buy a shard, is fine with farming. But pre-shard, like, you're really not that great. It's just the slithering crush that you have to work with. Of course, when you have 2 kills to your name, that helps out.
Yep. I also love how Alchemist has gone out of his way to not be involved in this game. Be like, forget I even exist, guys. Let me just do my thing.
I kind of like that and don't at the same time. I feel like Alchemist early on in these skirmishes is actually pretty valuable. He's very hard to take down if he has ulti up. Acid Spray, actually a pretty good spell as well early on at every stage. And he gives you a decent stun. Like when you're fighting around the tier 1 tower, there's this play where you start channeling the stun, you TP and you instantly throw it on someone, they don't have time to react.
Well, it looks like the memo has been passed towards the South American rejects that, hey guys, there's still an Alchemist in this game, let's go hunt him down. They go through the Twin Gate with Schofield and Dark Margo. Unfortunately, Crystallis is already in a very safe position, even Ike in front of him to break smokes if necessary.
Yep. Stacking up as well. A lot of, like, one of the reasons why Alchemist is so good right now, a lot of small camps, easy to farm. Unless someone steals them, of course.
Dark Margo. I wait for the Blink Dagger, actually, on this Batrider very early on.
Yeah, I don't mind that. There's like a couple of builds that you can go for. Boots of Bearing as well is like a standard build, but when you're a support and your team needs initiation...
Ike could be in some trouble here. Inkswell's not going to connect, but he does find the lasso out onto this Pangolier. Soulbite is there, but it's not going to matter as Boom TP's in. The damage from Laranov will also be there as the Viper has made his entrance known. Sharpshooter catches him during the roll, provides the damage. Laranov gets the credit for the kill.
They're paying for their over-aggression. Like in last game, everything went their way.
Oh. That was actually Radiant. He has the gold for the talisman right now.
Yep, so delaying it for an extra minute and a half. Alchemist still farms pretty quickly, right? You've got Acid Spray, Soul Ring. Oh, let it go.
Frank has access already to his Blink Dagger, farming for the shard right now. Elmisho helping to clear out these camps. He still remains at the top of the net worth for his squad.
Oh, well, he was just given a pretty good stack as well, right? Going for BKB next into the shard. There's like a couple of ways that you can itemize. And those couple of ways are, you either go BKB and then shard, or you buy shard and then BKB on Slardar. Sometimes, of course, you can forgo the BKB for an Aghanim Scepter, but it more or less leads into the same playstyle. You want to be jumping in, being able to move out of the fight as well.
Smoke up for the Kez and the Grimstroke. They will make a way through the Twin Gates. Slaughter is pushing in this wave. Man, they really want to find Crystallis. But
I'm not sure.
Very carefully.
I'm not sure just how quickly they can take him down between the two of them. If he manages to use ulti, if he doesn't, of course, you can do it.
He did drop a scan. Unfortunately, it's in the wrong location. Middle, there's a lasso indeed, going out onto the Crystal Maiden. Elmisho will die, but they did throw out a Frostbite onto the Viper. Beautiful flame break to interrupt the initial jump from Dark Margo. He's still going to go in, though. He has some support coming in from the other side. Look at this, Laranov surrounded. Raptor Dance comes out. He's held in place, killed off. Looks like that smoke, it took a lot longer to connect than they wanted it to, but eventually it will yield dividends.
It will, but strategically, I think MOUZ are playing this game right. They're playing it well. Like the outskirts of the map, bottom right and the complete right of the map, it's just Largo farming. Top the whole map is Alchemists. The other three heroes are literally just cannon fodder. They're sitting in the mid lane trying to build a wall, trying to make sure that if anyone dies, it's one of those three. They're basically asking for aggression. Meanwhile, Largo almost Kaya and Sanj. He pretty much has it. That's their go time. Their go time is the Aghanim on Largo. Now, I don't know how many Largo games have you seen, but I have never seen this hero have game-changing impact since the patch.
Oh, since the patch, yeah.
Since the patch. Of course, before he was
about to say what?
He was literally a game winner, right? Like every single game you play.
Yeah, now he sort of feels more like a facilitator of an already winning team rather than the reason why you're winning.
I feel like to me, he's like one of those heroes that got nerfed so heavily, but teams are still willing to pick him just because of old time sakes, you know. How bad can it be? Let's try. Let's try. How bad is it really?
Let's see what Boom can accomplish. He's gonna go for Crimson Guard next after the SNY. Crystal is still farming for his Aghanims.
So the hero has very interesting playstyle, and it's a bit different than anything else that's in the game. So I would like to see Largo still stay in meta. Right now, not really the greatest win rate on the hero.
How's our boy Larenov doing here? He's angling toward getting himself a BKB. He wants a Lotus Orb first, so he's going to be the one providing some of that utility from the mid lane.
He's just trying to tank up, basically. Like you said, utility, getting that Lotus for Corrosive Haze, just making sure that he can survive long enough.
They smoke immediately. I want to use this somewhere. Vitz is a very viable target right in front of them, but Elmisho breaks the smoke. Unfortunately, on the low ground, that's all they'll find. And Vitz was literally heading towards them. Kess kill was about to come, but he still walks there. Blink Dagger available in a couple seconds. Dark Margo trying to do the Rolling Thunder, goes in with the Ink Swell on top of him. Can he catch up to the Largo? Not just yet. Yamich also able to juke himself away. The only person who might die here is Ike, but he blinks into the trees, attempts to TP out, and succeeds.
That's a pretty good disengage from MOUZ. It's also one of the reasons why they didn't catch anyone was the Flame Break, right, on Pango. It pushed the Rolling Thunder a little bit away before it started. It pushed Pango away, so he couldn't really get on top of the Crystal Maiden. Sorry, the Hoodwink, I believe he was going for. Bot lane.
Yamich gonna eat a lot of damage coming out from this Pango. Raptidons will be thrown out. The tick damage, not enough to kill him, so Yamich will live, especially with Largo right next to him.
He's just not big enough. You know, Kez in this situation in most games could get the solo kill, but he just doesn't have the farm or the levels. He's level 11, Mage Slayer, no Dezo just yet. He's getting closer. With a Dezo, he'd definitely get that kill.
There we go. Oh! Now that's interesting. They decided to give the Aghanims to Larenov instead. What do you make of this?
Let's see. I mean, it's a different approach. Honestly, I might even be on board, but I'm a big Largo hater right now.
You're not pro Viper, you're just anti-Largo.
Pretty much. And there's like one thing that's kind of nice about Viper this game, you know? This whole Grim idea is really good against elusive, squishy heroes like Embers, Storms, even Pango, you know, like these kind of heroes. Phantom's Embrace just completely destroys you. When you're playing Viper and you have Lotus, I mean, giving Aghanims kind of does make sense. It's a massive attack speed slow, and if they hit you only a couple of times without Corrosive because of Lotus, I kind of dig it.
You see Schofield will pick up his Blink Dagger. BKB now available for Frank. However, they want to leverage their strength on the side of MOUZ. They smoke up.
Oh, he's caught, right? Is he? Oh! Damn, that was a nice position to TP out from.
That was so close. Doesn't seem like Ake and the boy is going to be able to find a target here, so...
This is kind of all coming together for MOUZ, though. The Crimson on the Largo, the Lotus, BKB, and Aghanims on a Viper. They're trying to make like this disgusting ball of heroes that cannot be killed. I kind of like it. Solar Crest on Hoodwink as well. I can see the idea.
Tier 1 tower being sieged upon here with the siege wagon behind it. Frank has a Blink BKB, so he's a very serious threat. Larenov's not going to want to just stick around and deal with this guy. Throw around some poison attacks just to make sure it cancels out the Blink.
And
Oh, what? El Misho got the tower deny. Despite having the greedy enchantment as well.
Yeah. The Crystal Maiden with like 50 damage, no attack speed, gets the deny. But, you know, like, when you look at these four heroes, it's kind of rough to fight into them with the Lotus and Aghanims on Viper, especially with the Crimson on Largo, which will allow Alchemist to just continue farming. And I love this. This is probably the first time that I'm seeing it in this tournament, like the two Aghanims build. I think this is optimal for the Alchemist. It wasn't optimal in most of our games, but getting the double Aghs early on, if you can get away with it, is the way.
Crystallis has been getting away with murder. He's 1-0-1, and those kills happened literally at the beginning of the game. So he's just been quietly here. His team has made enough havoc across the map that no focus can be applied towards him. And he's also been farming this very safe area, right? They try to gank him multiple times, but he's made sure he's never getting caught out. And there it is, second Axe on the way.
Okay, full second Aghanim Scepter. Some more damage on the Alchemist, some more farm as well that is easier to pick up.
His team will smoke up now. Again, we saw this issue play itself out in the first game, where they were really struggling to get positive vision on the other side of the map. But now, Marco, can they get him before he blinks away? Yes, they can. Drag back in. There's going. Oh, they missed the bushwhack though. And they missed the sharpshooter. Oh no, he gets off the rolling thunder. Tries to get back into the fight. Inks will apply to the roll. Still gonna stun up multiple heroes. Yamish very low, but he's still falling. Dark Margo just a little bit more damage would kill him, but he manages to get out. They kill off Yamish. Did lose Schofield in the process though, as Laranov applied the damage out onto the Grimstroke.
Yeah, very nicely done by Dark Mago to blink on the high ground there and get away. I thought he was dead, like he was looking almost gone. Wits on top lane, there is no lasso, right? But they're still chasing him.
Okay.
Or he's chasing
forward. Ake. Almost certain to die here. The question is, can Wits get out? As Crystallis finally deciding to involve himself somewhat. They put the stun out onto Wits. Licky Lick brings him in. There's the Frog Stomp. Wits is gonna die here.
He moved back into the Frog Stomp as well. Okay, that's a pretty good trade now in the end. I think Kaz for a support.
Boom. What's he gonna go for next after the Crimson? Okay, he wants the BKB for himself. So then we'll have the triple BKB timing because Alchemist is also going for his own.
No, their timing is going to be really strong. Like, I don't think that they managed to break the map well enough on the side of South America rejects. Like, you see the Slardar, Kaz, even Pango, like they benefit so much from the Corrosive Haze and Blink on Slardar, but they... I guess because Kaz was just so dominated in the lane, they didn't really find the right openings.
And we haven't really seen them fully be able to connect the Slaughter and the Kaz together, right? Like fully leverage the amplified damage plus the Raptidons. Now a lot of that damage will be taken away as Crimson is finished for the Largo.
Yeah, the Crimson going for BKB next, BKB on Viper, BKB on Alchemist will be, like, when you give away two Aghanim Scepters, it's a couple of minutes and you have it.
Shard goes the way of El Misho. Okay. It's okay.
Yep. Top lane, Crystal Maiden.
Well, hope you enjoyed that shot, gang. Boom will be there with Laranov.
Space.
Space created. Things have really turned around for Laranov, right? He was like 0-3 by like minute 5.
It's top net worth.
And now top net worth. Yes, of course he did get the Aghanims, but a lot of this has come from just the space that has been made for him and him just farming.
And the build as well. Like, Aghanims is massive, of course, but the fact that he just went for Lotus BKB, it's like, be as tanky and as annoying as possible. That's the idea.
Kez in some danger. Forced to run away, pop the Raven's Veil down bottom. Doesn't have a TP for a few seconds, but will come back up. Should be able to get out of here.
He's like, what, 150 away from Aghanims. Should have it after the next set of creeps. So they'll have Aghanims on him. They have Aghanims on Pangolier. It's not like they cannot fight. I believe that they could maybe pressure this Rosh even, but they're not fast enough. They will not connect to this.
Yeah. Looks like MOUZ are actually going to leave Crystallis behind to finish it. They were wary of somebody coming in on the backline, and they were correct. They were coming, and they found Dark Margo again. This time they need to land all of their spells. Dark Margo yet again gets off the Rolling Thunder. He's still alive. Inkswell stun will connect onto these MOUZ heroes, and the chaos is too much. Fitz shows up as well with this Kez, looking for the Raptidons. They've managed to create some separation from the Kez though. However, he has the grappling claw, catches up to the Viper, kills him off. Double kill for Kez. Can they get more? Seems like he still wants to chase. He does have an amplified damage on top of him, but he won't find anybody else.
He had DD, but it still didn't work out. In the last patch, if you're taking this fight with BKB Lotus Viper, with Crimson, Kaya Sange, and Aghanim's Largo, no one dies.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely not a single hero would die. You'd heal everything. But the numbers on Largo currently, when it comes to damage output and healing output, with the Aghanims, there's just no oomph. You don't really feel it.
It's also unfortunate that yet again, they didn't manage to kill Dark Margo. That's 2 fights in a row where they initiate onto him, and their failure to kill him is what loses them the fight in the end.
Absolutely. And of course, the rune for Kaz.
Oh, yeah.
Helping out a little bit. Gaben on point.
He only did 4,500 damage that fight, you know. Very mediocre. Boom. It would have been great if he had a BKB in that fight, but unfortunately not available. Still farming towards it though. And I must say, Yamich, man, these bushwhacks, they just need to land more cleanly from him.
And it's a much easier spell to land, by the way, right now. Ever since the patch, like the cast range is higher. You can buy the Chasm Stone as well to get some extra AoE on it. The only problem is you're playing with the bat, so some of the trees can be broken down by Firefly.
I mean, that possibly actually is what happened, right? Because he kept using Bushwhack just at the tail end of the lasso, but Firefly is still online.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to coordinate these two spells.
Smoked again on the side of MOUZ. South American rejects have El Misho in a very good position to break these smokes. And look at that game sense. He knew they were coming. He glimmers just to make sure that, okay, someone will get scouted. And I think it broke on Yamich.
They're just trying to utilize this Aegis timer, right? Even though they did lose a fight, they still have it for an extra 2.5 minutes. AC being next item. 40 Alchemist, of course, versus Slaughter.
Vitz. There's the reveal, though. Vitz going to get the grappling claw to the far side of the fight. Instead, they initiate onto the Grimstroke. They get the kill. Ike now with the lasso onto Vitz, but Vitz still alive. Activates the Raptidons. Brings down Yamich. Here comes Dark Margo yet again with the Rolling Thunder. Crashing into multiple of these heroes. They're looking for Frank, though. Look at Crystallis. Trying to just stand his ground, beat back the Slaughter. The BKB, though, will protect the Slaughter for a very long time. Vitz also able to TP out on the far side of the fight. And MOUZ, despite catching them in an awkward position, just didn't have the damage to bring down these core heroes.
Yeah, they caught him in an awkward position. The lasso was good on the right target as well. And the resources on Radiant were really low. Like, they didn't really have a lot. They didn't have mana on Slardar as well to play around efficiently in that fight, but good disengage. Very good disengage on the Radiant side.
Frank. Next to El Misho, looks like they're planning for a smoke maneuver of their own here. Where are they going to go? Largo is walking underneath an observer ward as we speak, so they know that Boom is alone here. Will they try to jump him is the question. Now they feel like, hey, the effort incurred without the Kez being here is too much. They're going to wait for the Kez. Here comes the Kez. Phantom's Embrace out onto Boom. They put in the damage with the Kez. Echo slashes out. Still alive for now, though. But the Rolling Thunder, a couple of right clicks, and a big shield crash. They bring him down. Laurenov, though, able to at least attack and kill Schofield. But Crystallis took so much damage from Frank and Dark Margo. He just ends up going down. And Frank is not done just yet. He's looking towards Laurenov, able to get the kill on him. Look at this Alchemist channeling the stun. He just needs to get out of here.
Can they chase him? It's self-stun. They know. They have
it's a self-stun. He's the lone survivor, but that's going to change. They bring him down. They make it a team wipe, and South American rejects assert themselves on the map.
Yikes, that's a Vibe plus Aegis, by the way. So they killed 6 heroes. Keep in mind, eliminating the Largo immediately. And there isn't really a lot that you can do as Largo when Phantom's Embrace is on top of you. He doesn't have a BKB. It's like a hard counter, actually, when you think about it. It's like one of the worst things. Like, I was talking about Viper and these tanky heroes, how they don't really care about Phantom's Embrace. Largo definitely does, because you can Actually, can you spam the songs? I feel like you can't.
I don't think you can anymore.
You can't, right? Like, you need a BKB.
He went for the Veil first. I think he was thinking about upgrading that before getting the BKB.
Yeah, but they have a Veil already on Viper as well. He's going Bloodstone, right?
I think so, yeah.
He's going Bloodstone and the Plate Mail just for the, you know, just for the armor. Yeah, you can't play, you can't strum your whatever it is. 3-string the guitar, bass, loot, yeah.
Wow, but it's damage onto Crystallis though, my goodness.
Yeah, I think we've seen this combination a couple of times. Slardar and Kez, bot lane, boom.
He's running under the tier 1 tower. Here comes Dark Mago with the Rolling Thunder as well. They catch up to the Largo. They're bringing in everybody though from MOUZ to try and defend this. Crystallis is here too. He hasn't activated Chemical Raids yet. He gets it off finally, but a huge soul bind brings them both together and they're trying to do the damage out, but no, Crystallis able to stand his ground, deliver the damage and bring all of these heroes as low as possible. Unfortunately, very quickly it's apparent that he's all by his lonesome. He killed the Slaughter, he killed the Grimstroke, but he's the only one that's doing any damage in these fights.
Those are 2 back-to-back vibes, by the way, because this is a buyback on Largo on top of everything else. So all 5 heroes gone. They initiated a little bit clunky. It didn't really all connect at the same time. Wits on Kez was a little bit too far away. But once again, the combination of spells that they've got on supports doesn't really net them anything. They don't control these Radiant heroes. I believe Bat blinks in at the same time that Kez just goes through and he doesn't get the lasso off either. You'll see it right here.
Oh boy. We are in despair territory right now.
You see, Ike just blinks on him as he's grappling away and doesn't really get the lasso off. If you get the lasso, if you get the control on Kez, maybe there is something here, but in any case, this is looking really damn rough.
I will say, it's impressive how long Crystallis was able to stand his ground here, but eventually, when everyone around you is dying, it's like, well, you're fighting alone right now.
I think that the idea is good on the side of MOUZ, but they're missing a couple of crucial items. They're missing the BKB, most importantly, I believe, on Largo. It's just not there, and now with the buyback, it's even more delayed.
Yeah, especially when you got nothing out of the buyback, right? It would have been one thing if Iglis was able to come back and save Crystallis.
And there's another thing, like, they bought 2 Veil Scepters. One turned into the Bloodstone on Viper. And I understand, like, this Bloodstone is an incredible item. But wasn't Shiva's a good option here? Like, lower the attack speed on top of the Nether Toxin and give you, like, Shiva's is now all armor. Like, you buy 2 armor items to build it.
They're also really struggling with like positive vision for X to jump onto, so it would help a little bit with that, with these heroes hiding in the trees. Now though, it's a 10k net worth lead for the South American rejects. Things looking very dire for this MOUZ lineup. We also have a Disperser being queued up for Dark Mago. I really like that a lot. Top lane. Arnoff has a Phantom's Embrace on top of him, but they're not going to jump him just yet. Dark Mago is en route, so they do actually have to vacate the area with this Viper.
Linken's Octarine Core, Disperser, like you mentioned, like this is... He's got 1 defensive item, and that always feels great. When you can get away with 1, and it's a Linken Sphere.
So now what? What do we do if we're on the side of MOUZ? How do we change the status quo of this game?
It's... They managed in the last game, right? Like, that last game looked even worse, and they did manage to mount a comeback. For this game, for something similar to happen, first and foremost, BKB on the Frog. Largoba, just jungle, bro. That's it.
Don't want to see you on the map.
Stay in the swamp, farm those frogs.
Play some Shrek gameplay.
There's another thing that you benefit now from level 20 Largo, by the way, and that's the 50% grooving armor aura. Usually you don't really think about it way too much, but it's really good this game.
Roshan up in 25 seconds. South American rejects are certainly going to be ready for it. And with 1 more Aegis, there's still some outer towers for them to clean up, so it's probably not going to be a pure high ground siege. But it still feels like it makes the game way too hard for MOUZ to play. Can they contest? If they don't have BKB, for example, would they even be able to contest around Roche?
Maybe you have Bat, you have some spam that you can throw into the pit. The BKB is definitely necessary though, 200 gold away on Largo. He should have it after this wave mid.
Well, mid as well is going to be Ike, who is most likely going to die here. Not really too much that can be done to save him. Yamich, though, gets a full bushwhack with the sharpshooter out onto this Pangolier. They back off. Pango, though, coming in, rolling forward, finds Crystallis on the back edge of the fight. Laranov is going to get slowed down. Ike will bite back. Dark Margo, Inkswell on top of him to dissuade them from chasing. That'll get him out of here. This cannot be another buyback that doesn't achieve anything. Ike, desperate to make something happen. They even smoke for the additional movement speed. They want to catch up to Dark Margo. It looks like these heroes might just be gone.
They will go to their high ground at least, because they can't go too far away. Roche is around. It's a good buyback, by the way. It was a necessary buyback. There was no way around it.
BKB now available for the Frog. Crystallis gonna try and get the second Aegis. It will be roared. He did take the first one, so they know on the side of South American rejects. And this is a decent thing because Rolling Thunder was down, but now it's back. It's available. He has Octarine, so the cooldown is shorter. Roche about to die. Huge soul bind in the pit. Viper and Alchemist caught out immediately. And this Rolling Thunder doing everything. But Laranov is not dead. He's trying to stand his ground with the BKB. Eventually, though, he will die, but he picked up the Aegis. Fits super low. So he ends up losing his life, burning out to Crystallis. Crystallis, though, can't move because El Micho threw out the huge freezing field, but the pushwhack cancels it. They have the damage to bring down the Hoodwink. Crystal Maiden, she's dead already. Dark Margo trying to get out. He's on the high ground. Beautiful pushwhack again from Yamich. Inkswell is not going to save him. He dies. Boom. Threw a frog towards him. Gets a triple kill. They take the fight inside the Roshan pit.
That's a triple kill right there for our BKB Frog. 6.2k damage suddenly for him. These kind of fights are just fantastic when you can play your song 24/7. By the way, of course, this fight is decided by a very simple thing. Who gets his hands on the Aegis? If Viper does not, this game is literally Radiant's to take, but he does manage to snatch it immediately. And you know what as well, like this Bloodstone kind of a build from Viper was dead because the item was trash in the last patch, right? In this patch, sure, armor would be just as good for him, but Bloodstone is, for the active, really nice. It was one of those old school builds when Bloodstone was good. It was bought on Viper, right? So it does come in handy.
We saw in this fight just how much damage that Nether Toxin was doing to the Kiz and the Pango.
To everyone, really.
Everybody was just struggling. And you know, we were saying earlier that Yamich needs to land the bushwhacks. Yeah. My boy did it in this fight.
He just didn't want to use the best ones straight up at the beginning of the game. He was saving them. Very good fight. Not surprised. MOUZ in game number 1 as well. They managed some pretty incredible comebacks, so they just have to keep at it now.
El Micho, I'd like to see him start building a BKB. Oh, never mind.
Has it? Yeah. He's pretty rich.
What the hell, bro?
14k net worth, Crystal Maiden. There's a couple of heroes on supports that are so much better now that you are guaranteed the greedy enchantment. They're just much better. Like a hero like Crystal Maiden, if you know that you will have that plus 100 GPM, you can always kind of expect to get a couple of good freezing fields. BKB will be there eventually.
Speaking of those position fires, what happened to that Raptor? My boy Disruptor.
I think he's still pretty valuable. He's not played right now, but I think the hero is still pretty good. There's nothing better still from an ultimate perspective, at least, when it comes to Aghanim's Disruptor, so...
Not enough.
Gets the haste.
Okay, there's going to be a jump on the backside. Beautiful soul bind from Schofield, making sure Laranov cannot escape next to Yamich. They go forward, they bring down Yamich extremely quickly. But what are they going to do here? Boom, showing up to the fight alongside Laranov with the BKB active, strumming his song. They're running the hell away from South American rejects. There's a freezing field with the BKB active being channeled by El Micho. Doing a lot of work here, but they're still just going to run up and kill him. Hit him in the face and he goes down.
Okay, maybe not as... a little anticlimactic with that ultimate of his, but...
He dealt the most damage in the fight, 6.2k?
He did, he definitely did. You can really see the power of the Frog, by the way, now. Level 23. He's finally coming online in these last couple of fights.
Witz has the Inkswell on top of him, jumping forward to Yamich. Yamich still alive for a moment. Ake was looking for the lasso. Going to be able to get it out onto Vitz. Lorenov putting in the right clicks onto this Kez. This Kez is about to die. No, activates the Raptidons. Able to grapple claw onto the high ground. In the meantime, Frank brought down Ike. Dark Margo running interference, looking for Yamich. Not going to be able to find him. The catchy lick will be there to make sure Yamich lives. Dark Margo gets stuck. Tries to get out with the swashbuckle, but his life will be forfeit.
Dies in the same spot he died the last time they fought around the pit. The draft is coming together. It took them a bit, right? But they're just a little bit too tanky on the MOUZ side. And it's the type of tank heroes that they are. They deal overtime damage, and the longer the fight goes, the more damage they're dealing. These Viper poison attack, they stack up, right? And it stacks up and it helps out other heroes too, like Largo is benefiting from them. The Croak of Genius as well is coming into play. He's about to hit 25. 30% of course, Amphibian Rhapsody, song effects is what he's going for. And the game in these kind of standard team fights right now is much better for MOUZ. But for South American rejects, they need to basically play it ninja style. Get in, get one kill, bail. Rinse and repeat. Force out a couple of BKBs and do the same thing over again. If they just try to 5v5, it's not going to work.
I think Boom maybe heard you questioning, how much impact you can get out of Largo. He took it personally.
He definitely did. I'm happy to see Largo work. Even if he was given an Alchemist Agonist.
Said Alchemist does now have an Abyssal Blade for himself. He's gonna self-stun in the lane, but still dangerous. Ake, oof, almost caught out to the slaughter.
Bat actually queuing up an Agonist of his own. He's like, bro, I have an Alchemist and I have to do everything myself. Can be refunded, of course, eventually if Crystallis feels like he can get away with it.
Maybe Aghanim is like, tax deductible for the Alchemist. Once he's given out 1 or 2, he's like, the charity is done now, it's over. 5K net worth lead for the side of South American rejects, but it definitely does not feel that way.
It definitely doesn't. Seems like they are setting up a trap here, or not really a trap, just the defense of the high ground. They want to keep it in their control for now, and they will.
Carl, they all TP out together on the side of MOUZ. They are sticking together. Nobody's going to be found out of position. I mean, this makes sense, though, right? They recognize that if we fight actually 5 versus 5, realistically, who's really going to die if we use all our spells correctly?
Ike leading the charge.
Okay, Slaughter did show a little bit middle, but he clears out the wave, immediately retreats.
They're just taking map control right now. They're doing a really good thing because realistically they can force big team fights by going for objectives, right? There's still a tier 2 bottom, tier 2 mid. If they don't want to fight you, well, you can force them to do that. Their high ground push is not that bad either. I feel like they could even force high ground with a good lasso. Waiting for Roche, of course, is more disciplined, but...
Here come the South American rejects. Soulbind gonna catch the 2 cores here. No BKBs just yet. Lorimer finally able to get it out, as well as Crystallis. They got the lasso out onto Vitz. They're trying to bring down this kid. They hit him with the Abyssal Blade. He's gone. We'll buy back though, and as El Misho goes into the middle of the fray, BKB freezing field. They need to get out of that area. But where's the follow-up from the rest of the South American rejects? Schofield also went down, but he doesn't have a buyback. And now that El Misho's BKB has expired, unlikely he'll be allowed to escape. But oh, he got the last second blink covered by the Glimmer Cape. Can they get to him before he gets to the defender's gate? No, they cannot, but they lick him back into range. Boom gets the kill. 2 supports gone. Kez forced to buy back. You get a tier 2 tower and you don't lose anything in the process.
Well, they don't lose any HP in the process. Just look at these heroes. They're all full HP, almost full mana on everyone, just full on charging towards the high ground, because why the hell not? Okay, you're missing lasso, but it will be back up in 8 seconds. It's a very long cooldown at this point.
Tier 3 tower getting brought down. Roshan's banner protecting the creep wave. Lorenov, he's standing tall in front.
Can can you defend this? I don't think you can. I don't think they will even try to. At least not the bottom set of racks. They have the tier 2 mid, they have the tier 2 top, so probably all they're getting, but it's a lot considering the buyback on Kaz.
They now have the gold advantage back in their favor for MOUZ. All of these heroes are starting to get to that point where, you know, it's one thing we also talk about, like Alchemist becoming the raid boss, right? But now Viper and this Largo are the sub-bosses right behind the raid boss.
The henchmen.
The henchmen, there we go.
They definitely are, but I would say the most valuable spell that they've got at this point is the lasso. If it connects properly on the Kaz, and it did. Chrysalis?
He's fine.
Is he?
Well, they're gonna try with the Rolling Thunder. He's got BKB available.
His team is kind of
Squad
far.
is a little bit far away, but he does manage to blink away from the Rolling Thunder. And his team now, perhaps looking to punish Ike, gonna be able to get the double lasso. Aghanim's revealed from the Batrider onto the Grimstroke and the Pango. Grim will be the first one to fall. Pango was at least still in the roll, so he could get away with the swashbuckle. But now they need to run. Loranov is en route. And they do manage to get themselves away. But man, it looked like such a juicy opportunity to catch Crystallis further away from his team, but it turns into disaster.
Yeah, they just didn't react fast enough. I feel like they didn't get to him fast enough. It was a debate. Oh, look at me, I'm just self-stunning myself. But yeah, perfect Aghanims, like you mentioned, reveal as well. Lasso. Lasso, it's all it's about right now. Like, if he gets it on Kaz, or if he gets it on any other 2 heroes, that's just so much value.
Well, Frank comes in, looking towards bringing down Egg. They recognize the danger of the Batrider and they will kill him, but Frank will sacrifice his life for this one. El Misho with the freezing field, BKB active. Crystallis gets off the Abyssal Blade onto Fitz, but he's still losing his life. He's still dying. He doesn't have a BKB to play with. He needs to get out of here, but boom, keeping him alive, strumming his song, and now the lasso from the buyback emerges onto Fitz. Pango has to run away as he watches the kids die back into the game. Dark Margo can't do anything to save him.
That's 2 minutes without him.
Frank, he brought back 2. He can't afford to die here, but he gets the dieback out of Egg. They recognize the importance of that lasso, and Frank takes care of the problem.
Okay, that's something at least. You know that the high ground push is coming now that you've given away the Aegis and the second life of Kaz. So at least without Bat, maybe it will be a bit slower. The trade just wasn't there. They were forced into it, right? Like, you have to initiate on the Bat. They initiate on him, but they lose Slardar in the process, and it's just not good enough. And the Alchemist is actually like one of those carries that when he's this big versus Kaz, doesn't feel that bad because you regen through a lot. And the dot was actually dispelled from him by Lara.
Yeah.
And he has Berserk Potion as well, of course.
Loranov and Boom are now on the high ground, pushing into the tier 3 tower. They know there's no Kez for a fact. And Crystal Maiden, yeah, she can come back, but they've demonstrated time and time again that they can't deal with her, even in the freezing field. Second lane of racks to fall. Like you said, still a tier 2 top, so no megas, but they're doing a lot here. Dark Margo perhaps wants to go back in, gets the Rolling Thunder to the back lines, but they are chilling. Nobody's losing anything, no one's scared. Abyssal Blade now connects on top of him. He needs to roll back into the safety of the base. Boom, happy to try and chase him. Sharpshooter just barely doesn't connect. The range finished towards the very end. Now Crystallis just going on to the tier 4 tower. There's still 25 seconds, no Kez. El Misho can't stop this from happening. The throne's about to get exposed. Frank has the BKB, can maybe try to jump in here. 15 seconds for Kez. What will they do on the side of MOUZ? Frank goes in, looking towards this Viper, but he gets Licky Lick back in. Crystallis gets the bashes out onto Dark Margo. Dark Margo trying to roll away. He can't do it. He dies and he buys back, but they've bought enough time. Kez about to respawn. MOUZ will now retreat.
Is it a full retreat? Let's see. It should be, right? Like, when you look at these mana bars, Largo literally without it, Alchemist as well, they need to reset. But this was still, even though they don't close the game out with a very big advantage, there was no Kez. This is still very well played and very disciplined for MOUZ, just taking and not butting heads, going all out for the throne. The moment they saw Kaz respawning, yeah, they still respect the mad damage output that this hero can dish out in seconds. So
One thing I'm learning from this game is we were questioning about the impact of this Largo. Those questions are answered. But, you know, earlier Commander Tiger was also asking about this position 5 Batrider, the impact of it on support versus position 3. And AK has shown if the game goes long enough and you can get to these items, you can still be just as impactful from a support role.
No, absolutely. I think the crucial statement there is if the game goes long enough, and they manage to survive long enough for this draft of theirs to come online. And I think it's a couple of items that allow them, besides the draft itself, it's a couple of items that allow them to get to this point, and the playstyle where they shut down Kaz completely early on. Let's see, high ground push is coming, still ages for 2 minutes.
Misho bought out for an Aghanims, and so did Witz, spying out for that Daedalus. There's the lasso, yet again they catch Schofield. The Bushwhack's not gonna connect, but the Sharpshooter will, so Schofield will die without buyback. Soulbind expended onto the Largo and Laranov, but Laranov still has an Aegis to play around with. Not really too scared here. Lotus Orb comes in, Crystallis blinks directly onto Frank. He's able to BKB through and get away from the stun of the Alchemist. But now the racks are exposed, Megas are incoming. They have a numerical advantage for at least 90 seconds. There's no way they're not gonna just try and end the game here and now.
This is basically 6 against 4 with the Aegis. Kaz is going
boom,
in.
going in, Kaz goes in, immediate abyssal blade, Kaz is gone! In the blink of an eye, the bird has been turned into dinner. Dark Margo can't survive either, and El Misho doing his best. BKB freezing field with the Aghanims from El Misho.
Okay.
Holy waste! He actually saved the entire game, bringing down Largo and the Alchemist. Unfortunately, they both have buyback. Coming back into the fray, Laranov still standing strong. Crystal Maiden, here comes back Crystallis looking for revenge, and with the help of Yamage, they bring down the Maiden. It's a dieback for El Misho. Doing what they can, Frank trying to zone back, boom, but it will not be enough. They destroy the Ancient, they take the game. GG, well played. We're going to a game.
And all that stuff. That's what we want to see. We want to see an epic game number 3, made extra epic by our commentary duo, Snare and Lizard.
Over the last 2 games, South American Rejects and MOUZ have gone to war, but one final battle will determine it all. And right now, it is the South American Rejects starting this battle off on the front foot, earning the first blood for the Carry Doom. Liz, what are we expecting here? Is this the start of yet another massive early game for South American Rejects, turning into a crazy swing for MOUZ?
Well, let's see. They're starting it off really well, and I kind of find it hard to imagine of them having a bad laning stage even, because of the heroes that they've drafted. Like this Enigma was a pretty switch up on them. Ursa versus Doom, pretty good in the lane, not so amazing in the game. However, Enigma, amazing versus Ursa in the lane. So they switch it up, they put the Doom in position 1. This hero isn't even that bad of a position 1, honestly. The build is a bit different. Like usually when you're playing, oh, boom.
Okay. Boom could be in some danger here on the docks here. Blood Grenade dropped down onto him by El Misho. Witz just needs a couple more right clicks.
Right?
One more, he's gone.
2 kills to his name already. Well, 1 kill and 1 assist to the Doom. By the way, this set, Shiver, you're absolutely right. It is pretty damn cool. It looks even better in the loadout lobby than it does right now, but it's really nice.
Well, unless you play Baldur's Gate, then you see this entire image and you're like, hell no, get me away from this hero.
Some Call of Cthulhu right here.
Dark Margo, though, reprising his role on the Kunkka. One of his specialty heroes. Nobody does it like he does. I love these kind of last games, right? Where everyone is just like, guys, everything is on the line. We have one last opportunity. Pick your ultimate comfort. Crystallis Ursa, Frank Enigma, Dark Margo Kunkka, Laranov Ember.
Yep.
Yamage Tusk, baby. Whew. It's going to be hype.
A lot of comfort on both sides. A lot of small little tactics, small little mid-game strategies that they have, maybe even laning strategies. Of course, Enigma into Ursa, pretty good, but on top lane, Darkseer and Tusk. Old school combo, very strong from level 3, however. Until that point, not that great. And even into Doom early on, like if he gets a point in Devour, he'll be able to take one of those creeps away, you know? Get rid of the Iron Shell that easily, can come in handy.
Schofield insistent on being able to bring down the courier, chases it all the way. And they're playing in behind the tower. Schofield just doing Schofield things. And you can see MOUZ has learned. If Schofield is doing this kind of stuff, bro, don't chase him too much. Just focus on the farm.
Focus on the creeps, yeah. Well, Enigma so far 6-1, Ursa 7-4. Focusing on the creeps definitely worked out. Top lane, they're diving Boom, by the way, under his tower.
Yep. So both sides of the map were playing behind the tier 1 towers. But Boom will go back for this range creep. Should be able to get it. Yamich is bringing him more creeps as well, so dutiful play coming out of the support.
It's a pretty good approach from Radiant, just making sure that you don't play the lane until you get level 3. Once you get level 2 Iron Shell, you can make some plays. You can be aggressive on the Crystal Maiden, or maybe even on the Doom. Like, there's more than enough damage on those two heroes.
This is so far the most normal laning phase that they've had on the side of South American Rejects. We haven't seen any crazy earlier rotations.
I feel like they don't have to, right? Like, they don't have to make any insane rotations. The question is if they even can. Like, when it comes to the mid lane, not really that easy to rotate without a Grimstroke. The Grimstroke versus an Ember Spirit was a pretty big reason of why Lorenov had such a bad game. He wasn't really activated as well. Like, nothing really that you truly benefited from as an Ember Spirit. This time around, though, he's got quite a few things. Iron Shell being a massive one.
He's doing an amazing job in the laning phase. The CS battle is being won decisively by Lorenov right now. In fact, a lot of the CS battles are being won by the side of MOUZ.
Yeah, Ursa actually, probably, to me at least, the most surprising one. Crystallis is doing really damn well on bot lane. Might even get a kill on Schofield here.
Indeed, Schofield, nice bushwhack to keep him alive for a second. Ike will throw forward the blood grenade. Crystallis trying to get himself away from that Malefic stun. Snowball. Yamich has made a rotation bottom. The Eidolons, look how much damage they're doing to Yamich. But he's still in with the Ion Shell, doing the damage onto Schofield. Schofield will die. Crystallis will be taken with him. These Eidolons putting in the damage, but nonetheless, it's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of MOUZ.
Hashtag word for Boom. Getting kills across the map. And I'm never quite sure what to build on Darkseer currently, because you can do anything. Like, this hero, at the moment, in the current state, every aura that you buy is good on him. It all depends on the game. He's going for a bit more of a selfish route, going for power treads, actually, into consecrated wraps. With the power treads, I assume at some point maybe an Aghanims will show up as well.
Going to be tanking up in this game as Almisho will come back through the Twin Gate. Vitz is still farming away on this Doom. What do you want to see on the carry build, Doom here?
I think the build is maybe pretty straightforward. I want to see a Harpoon, I want to see a Silver Edge, and I want to see SNY. The other items from him, maybe a BKB, comes in handy, but those 3 items are really good on a carry Doom. So, and the Wolf. It's very important what you eat, what kind of a creep you find. Alpha Wolf is almost always the best option.
Crystallis is starting to experience some pain from this Enigma lane, of course, as we get more points into the demonic summoning. Eidolons, always surprising like how much damage they deal early on in the game.
When you get Boots of Bearing as well, right? Like drums and stuff, like it's quite a lot. Almisho,
he's gonna try get himself away, but there's no way they'll allow that, so Almisho will die here. Crystallis, it would be great if they could get him the kill, and indeed that is the case. Will make up for his earlier death and for the loss of farm in the lane. Three to 3, very even. I still want to see when Lorenov is going to start getting involved. He is level 6 right now, and we are 20 seconds away from the next rune. So once the power rune comes out, if it's favorable, we could start to see early aggression emerge from MOUZ.
Absolutely. It's all about the resources though, right? Like Ember and Kunkka, they do have ways of going back home, but you'd like to get the minute 6 rune on both sides. Seems like Lorenov is a bit faster and he gets it.
Nice. Yamich also came through just to make sure if protection was required, he is available. Unfortunately, no gank will emerge from here. There is an Observer Ward. Does get dewarded now.
Yeah, the question is, like, where do you want to go? Because right now, I see the supports are hovering around the bot lane. All 4 supports, basically, but Ember can make a difference. He can be the deciding factor. Top lane as well.
Tri-lanes are back, baby. Bushwhack goes out onto Ake. Ake one shot follows through. A lot of damage being dealt to this Batrider. Yamich can't really find a clear target for the snowball.
Tri-lane, this kind of a tri-lane is currently, at least, definitely benefiting the Ursa. Because if he played against level 3 Eidolons with just one hero next to him, it wouldn't be possible. Like, most of the last hits would get denied, so...
Dire are scanning.
They will decide to actually move Schofield to the top lane. They want to contest for the Shrine of Wisdom. They're also contesting down on the top side of the map and on bottom. El Misho inside the ice shards right now. The burn's going to come through from Loranov. Nice dodge on the boat using the Sleight of Fist. Ake will pick up the Shrine, get the bonus experience. Yamich will die, but so will Boom on the other side.
Another
Boom,
one.
though, will rest easy in the grave. He put the Ion Shell out onto Crystallis, who was able to also bring down Schofield.
And Boom got denied. Keep that in mind.
Ooh,
right?
nice.
So he got denied by the neutral camp, so they get a creep, they get 2 neutrals, they get the shrines, of course. Pretty good.
Definitely the kind of start you want to see if you're on the side of MOUZ right now. As everybody returns, Loranov, he did go bottom, was involved in some kills there. Gonna start building himself into that Urna Shadows. It feels like this is an amazing Spirit Vessel game. Doom and Kunkka, that feels legit.
It absolutely is. By the way, Midas on Doom. Also an option, of course. Didn't mention it, but going Midas or not depends on how quickly you want to be a part of this game, how quickly you want to join fights. Even if you buy a Midas, I feel like you can still be a part. With Doom, every time you have it, you can use it.
Not too far away for, it's about halfway through for Vitz on his Doom. On the other side, Crystallis is still making inroads towards his Battle Fury. He's going to try and farm some heroes here. They're going to take the twin gate rotation, move in towards this Doom, see if they can pick him up. He hasn't backed off just yet, but he starts to realize that something's a little bit awry, hiding in the trees.
Ember is showing mid though. I feel like that will give him confidence to show.
And he does indeed show for just a second. There's going to be the wall expended. They want to try and get him down underneath the tier 1 tower. The Ion Shards are going to be burning through this Doom, and Boom will be the one that gets the credit for the kill.
Early enough. Ursa is really good against Doom, right? Like Doom is kind of tanky, but Ursa doesn't care about tanks. Fury swipes do stack up. Later down the line, Doom is a problem, but good rotations coming out from Crystallis and Tusk.
They're going to try and force this entire tower. Ember's coming through as well, so they really are insistent that we are taking this tier 1. We're going to deny Doom space to farm.
Ember moved out. He cannot connect again. He'd have to TP, so maybe there's a chance to defend this.
Frank will TP to the top side of the map. Vitz is coming through as well. They are going to be able to get the tower. No, not just yet. Black Hole is expended on Yamich, but he was inside the snowball, so it does absolutely nothing. He will be dragged back, killed off by Dark Margo and Frank. Or will he? He's actually just TPing out.
No way.
Crystallis and Boom got out as well, and Yamich got the tower before he left.
That's just painful for Dire. The Surge, by the way, Boom saving the Ursa from the Doom and Hoodwink, using Surge on him. Just so well played. The Snowball, and of course Frank being there, but not quite. Like if the Black Hole connects on 2, fantastic. If it connects on 1, good. If it connects on a Snowball, not really what you want.
Not the best. Now Frank, now with the Black Hole being down, it will give a lot more freedom to how MOUZ want to move around the map without having to fear this massive spell. Still 2 minutes on cooldown for him.
Definitely a lot easier, especially when you look at the Enigma. You're playing into 1, 2, 3, 4 melee heroes and a Bat Rider. This is, like, for the 2 offlaners, I feel like this is a dream game. On one side you have 4 melee heroes to Ion Shell, and on the other you have 4 melee heroes to catch in the Black Hole, so...
Well, Frank at the very least, despite not being able to get kills top, does remove the tier 1 tower bottom with the Eidolon spam.
One of the strengths and one of the reasons why Enigma was popular on the offlane for so long is that you're not only a Black Hole bot. Like this hero with the itemization, with the proper itemization, like at some point it was Vlad's, then it became Boots of Bearing plus Vlad's, or just Boots of Bearing, becomes quite oppressive when it comes to taking objectives.
I wonder what he's going to build next on rank. He still hasn't decided just yet. Does have the Drums of Endurance in the inventory.
But the next item should either be Bearing or Blink, I feel like. Both are fine. You could argue for maybe a Pipe as well, but a lot of physical damage on the other side.
Does come back now just to go keep farming the jungle. He's under vision, so that will also give Crystallis the information he needs to continue farming safely. Loranov very close towards having that Spirit Vessel.
Quite. better timing than in game number 1 as well.
He might try to play aggressively into the Kunkka here. His haste rune just expired, so they go with the snowball. Wall is also expended. Ion Shell, Flame Guard. Kunkka
Very tanky.
still alive though. The ghost ship crashes through. The Coco Rum will keep him alive. Laranov looking for the Sleight of Fist in the trees. He's gonna miss. Just barely. Kunkka will end up living. In the meantime, as he goes back onto the rune spot, El Misho took away the shield rune. So Laranov forced to retreat.
Yeah, cool TP from Wits, zoning them out with just the TP and using ice armor, not frost armor, ice armor on the Kunkka to give him some extra armor versus Ember.
Close call for Dark Mago, but he's alive.
If one thing that they were missing there is pretty simple, they were missing Ion Shells, right? Like no one had them. Darkseer is still on top lane. Sometimes you can go to the offlane Darkseer, ask for an Ion Shell, then TP to the lane you're ganking, but they definitely need that extra damage.
And Darkseer does not pick up his Consecrated Wraps, angling towards having a Pipe of Insight next.
It's nice. I quite like the Consecrated Wraps in Darkseer as a kind of a middle item between things, you know, like just a small little tank up item, and then you can go for the auras. Feels good not dying every time someone goes on you, because the hero is quite squish still.
Also in the jungle farming for his Battle Fury. And it looks like the side of South American Rejects, they're still very intent on just allowing Vits to be able to farm safely. I guess they don't want to make a move until they have the Dark Mago BKB. So that's going to delay their progress quite a bit and open up a space for them to get some pretty cool items to emerge on the Radiant side.
BKB on him, Black Hole on Enigma, right? Like, it is up now, and the Blink Dagger is there in 100G, so Enigma will have it.
Oh, they got the Blink Dagger on Batrider first though. They go directly onto the Kunkka and they just rip through the Pirate. He is gone. Ice shots prevent El Misho from escaping, so he's also going to be in danger, but he throws out the Freezing Field. It's doing a lot, but he still ends up burning out inside the Firefly. Schofield now realizing he might be a little bit too far forward, held in place by the Searing Chain, but Vits still has the Doom. He's threatening. They drop the wall behind, and Vits doesn't want to actually pop the spell just yet, just utilizing it as a way for his team to retreat.
Yeah, this is just a perfect timing. They caught them off guard, they caught them without the items, they weren't ready on the other side. Frank, 10 gold away currently from the Blink Dagger. If he has Blink Dagger and that happens, it's a huge turnaround, but of course, they killed the Kunkka a little bit too quickly.
He's gonna go for Midas on Frank after the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, interesting choice, I gotta say. It's not like Enigma farms way too slowly, but okay. They will have 2 Midases then, right? One on the Doom and one on the Enigma as well.
Kunkka the only one that doesn't have a Midas queued up, but he almost has his BKB. And now they know that the Darkseer wall is down for at least a little bit, so you could try to do something on the map once you get the BKB.
I don't think you care about the wall all too much. Like when it comes to this spell, it's a decent spell, but it's not a game changer out of the ultimates. You could even argue the Darkseer ultimate is actually the vacuum.
Ike. Hitting a Malefice stun. He does have Firefly though. If he gets into the trees, he can TP or blink out into the TP. That's exactly what he'll do. El Misho cannot catch up. At the same time, because they're down this side, they decide to play aggressively up on top. They get the quick kill onto Schofield. Vits attempting the TP out, but fortunately, they've already utilized the snowball, so he gets out safely.
And the vacuum. Fortunately for the Doom, it's on a 1-minute cooldown. Level 1 spell, 50 seconds on level 2. Yeah, one of the longest cooldowns on the first couple of levels.
There's literally ultimates in the game that have less cooldowns.
It's an ultimate, yeah, that you skill early on.
Mago can't catch up to the amplified damage rune. That will be snagged up by Laranov, who is now actually going to play with Ike, who shows up out of nowhere with the Blink Dagger onto Dark Mago. They're trying to dodge the Ghost Ship landing. They're trying to dodge this Black Hole. The Searing Chains, unfortunately, cannot cancel it out. So both heroes get caught and killed within the Black Hole. Laranov forced to back himself away. Vits is chasing, though. Do they have the drums pop just yet? Not necessarily. Vits just wants to get it. There we go. They find the Doom. They get the X. Boom realizes he cannot help his mid laner. Has to watch as Laranov dies.
Yeah, he was thinking about it. He was thinking about connecting, but couldn't really get there. And this was all without mobility on Doom or on Kunkka. Keep that in mind. They still managed to catch them. Once the Blink, the Harpoon is there, the game becomes a lot easier. And of course, the black hole, finally, we do see the power of the Frank Enigma.
Mid lane. Some push coming on through here from Frank. Boom will just happily go clear out this wave. Crystallis did finish off his battle fear while all this was happening, so he's continuing to farm towards his Blink Dagger, and then we'll start to see this bear get involved as well.
Yeah, so it's the classic build from the Ursa. Nothing really has changed. The Battle Fury into the Blink, into the BKB after is the standard go-to.
This has always been one of those heroes, right, where it's like, this build hasn't changed since the hero's inception, really.
There were patches where you'd see even Vlad's Ursa like a long time ago.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
There were some variations. I would argue even right now, like you have two ways. One is BKB, another one is Basher. Like if you can get the Aegis immediately, you get the Basher, and then you use it as... You use the Aegis basically as a replacement of the BKB. And then you farm up the BKB while you have it. But the itemization on him is pretty damn simple. Almost every single game, you come up with the same items by the end of the game.
Is that Midas now for Enigma? Despite having lost out on that prior skirmish a little bit.
How do you feel about that, by the way?
The Midas? I suppose if you're thinking to yourself that, you know, game 1 was 45 minutes, game 2 was 53 minutes, you say to yourself, okay, let's just make sure that we're ready to tangle in the late game. And that's part of the reason why they lost the previous game, right? That as the game scaled later and later, more items were emerging for MOUZ than for them.
Yep.
So this is a way to rectify that.
They were playing versus an Alchemist, though. It's a much different game. But yeah, with the Midas, scaling is maybe a little bit easier for the Enigma. He will delay his ultimate power spike. That's the Blink plus BKB.
And Misho, he might find himself dying here. Vacuum to cancel out the freezing field. The Ion Shell burn. Whew! Nothing a Crystal Maiden can do about that. They smoke immediately. They're not done with the aggression. They want to catch somebody else.
Oh, he bought the shard. Yeah, I was thinking if he's going to do this or not, and I really like it because it activates you even further. Like the shard on Darkseer is pretty nice and underrated. I think this is an item that you can opt to buy very early on, especially when you have heroes that you can Ion Shell plus just put Surge on them. It also, of course, makes it a lot harder to play Blink heroes. Any chasing heroes, it slows you down, the trail, plus it delays your Blink.
Speaking of Blinks, one has emerged now for Crystallis. Fortunately, they didn't find anybody with their smokes. They were actually caught a little bit because after they smoked, Lorinov disappeared under the smoke just as you were sliding on the creep wave. So on the side of South American Rejects, they were aware of that aggression, played accordingly.
Going for Lincoln's next on the Ember. Once again, Mage Slayer Vessel. Lincoln's pretty solid. He's playing into a Doom. Does make sense. X marks the spot as well. Very annoying.
Now it's their turn to smoke. South American Rejects. They are in through the mid lane, but everybody from the side of MOUZ has gone all the way to the western part of the map. Nobody seems like they'll get caught here. Even this Tusk took the Twin Gate, so the smoke goes nowhere.
They have way too much vision. Or at least the way they were positioned. Like they have this one deep ward that was just circled by Ursa. And also, they were just playing the Dire Forest, so they knew more or less where they aren't. So they could guess where they are.
Because of that, they use that information to go straight into the Roshan pit, knowing full well that all of South American Rejects are on the other side of the map. They didn't even take the Tormentor to make this a trade, so you might even be able to go back and grab it yourself. Now, first Aegis of the game going the way of Crystallis on his Ursa. The path to the BKB begins.
I wonder if they even have to wait. I feel like just using this Aegis to bait out one of the black holes just before your BKB comes up could be pretty significant, because then you can fight afterwards without the black hole. Or, of course, like you said, wait for it, just wait for the BKB.
Looks like the call is being made to go for it now. Batrider Ursa coming to the Twin Gates. Ember Spirit just clearing out this wave, forcing it forward. Anyone that's not here is Boom, but he's on duty protecting the tier 1 middle.
By the way, he bought just a casual Chasm Stone on Darkseer. Eventually, of course, he can turn it into a Shiva's. I feel like it's bugged on Darkseer. On most heroes, like, you get a lot of range, the AoE that is, I feel like it doesn't really work with Vacuum and the talent that you get on 15. Bought it quite a few times, so.
You're speaking from painful experience. Tormi time. The entire team is here, Boom included. So you take the Tormi. Perhaps you play aggressively into the tier 1. Oh, well, definitely not anymore. They lost a lot of HP doing that.
It hurts. Tormentor is no joke anymore, even for a hero like Ursa. Like last couple of patches, you just go there with Ursa, you take it solo, but so far so good. Both sides, 1k advantage only. Like the game is pretty damn chill and even when it comes to net worth. The only question remains is like, how much do you believe in the Doom carry?
Me personally, I never really believed in Doom carry. I feel like it's one of these like super tempo-oriented carries, right?
Yep.
If we get to like minute 30 and this Doom hasn't been like heavily involved, being a major threat, later and later I go, it's like, the later the game goes, when Doom is the carry, the less important the hero feels to me.
I would agree. It truly feels that way as well.
Crystallis smoked up with the help of Yamich. This is not a hero that necessarily falls off that hard. They go on to Frank right now, looking to bring down this Enigma. He does have the black hole, but has no opportunity to use it. Ripped to shreds by the bear. That'll open up the space for the tier 1 tower to be taken.
Or maybe another fight. Ike, he's in the triangle, he's got the blink, the force staff. Can't really find anyone right now.
South American rejects want absolutely nothing to do with him. So they leave that area, go deep into their jungle. They're actually going to smoke themselves. Enigma's still down for 17 seconds. Ake is going to kill off Dark Mago's Kuri. That was the Silver Edge! Even if he dies, it's definitely worth it, but he might not even die. They cancel out the freezing field of El Misho. Eventually, they do get the grab. Beautiful vacuum wall inside this small little alcove. The ice shards were there, keeping them in place, allowing all this damage to come through. Laranov, unfortunately, couldn't get fully stuck in as he was carrying this Iron Shell. But ultimately, well worth it. You trade 5 for 5, and you get the Silver Edge away from Dark Mago.
Yeah, it's worth it. Beautiful ice shards, vac wall, by the way. If they could find another way, like, can we borrow a fissure from some game, you know, just to lock them in? It's nice. Of course, Enigma was dead, and that allowed them to play this fight, to even be this aggressive. But BKB will be up, 100 gold away on the Enigma. This is like my crucial item timing for Dire. Of course, he went for Midas, he delayed it, but now that he does have it, maybe they could take some fights.
BKB does emerge at the same time as Ursa's BKB though.
BKB on him, on Doom as well.
Triple BKB is up for the cause of the South American rejects. And they didn't use the black hole in that last fight. It'll still be available if they want to use it up somewhere. Are still dealing with an Aegis for only 45 more seconds. So if they time this correctly, they could catch MOUZ off guard. And they do get a perfect scan from the South American rejects. They saw that move coming. They get out of dodge.
Very nice blink from the CM. They did get a little bit of map control and a little bit of pressure with the first Aegis, but I feel like they need more. That's why they're hunting right now.
Ursa blinks forward, doesn't go onto the high ground, goes on the river. Won't find anything as a result.
It's just not connecting. They're way too good on the other side. They're just anticipating these moves and they're just moving back, blinking. The target that's up front always has a way of blinking out.
Something has happened in this game, Lizard. For the first time this series, it's MOUZ that are actually ahead in the earlier portion of the game.
Let's see, is there a smoke? Crystal Maiden does have one. Almost level 12 as well. I would expect them to smoke up now that Aegis has been reclaimed. There's a lot of big... I mean, I would expect them, but at the same time, they've got Midas Devour and the Midas on Enigma. Maybe they're chill, you know? Just stay on your side of the map.
Rush.
It creeps.
Yeah, chillin'. No worries, gang. We'll get there eventually. Enigma going for an Aghanim Scepter as the next item here.
Pretty cool. Like, the heroes on the other side are sort of tanky. They're not like super big tanks like Tinies and Tide Hunters, but it's a nice pull. It's a nice item on Enigma overall. Not always a core item to go for, but okay.
We'll smoke up now. The Enigma is going to join up with his crew. Gonna go try make something happen on the map. Unfortunately, No vision, really. Like, where are they gonna go? Everybody's just off map right now for the side of the Radiant.
Yeah, the only vision, the only ward that they have is on their own cliff, next to the tier 2 towers, so they're kind of going in blind. It would be nice if someone could just go up front and put some wards down, but they don't even have wards in supports.
No, Dark Margo at the very least will just take a Watcher. He did get back his Silver Edge, of course, and just need a little bit more farm to finish off the SNY. Or the Sanj, at least. We'll see if he goes for the full SNY. Back in the day, this Kunkka would be buying the Sanj for the Halberd, but what can you do?
Yeah, not versus Ursa, right? Like, versus him, it's pretty damn bad. But they do have something that's pretty good against Ursa. That's the Yules on Hoodwink. So they did purchase one of the items. Can mess him up, you know. Use the Yules during Enrage, force the BKB out a bit earlier than he'd usually like to. And one problem that I had in game number 1 when it comes to itemization from South American rejects is the fact that they had no utility on the supports. They were just playing for themselves, for the damage output that they can deal. And because that's one of the reasons why Kaz was dying so easily. Abyssal, Lasso, everything was just thrown on him. Well, this time around, a little different at least. With the Yules, with the Solar Crest on Hoodwink.
He's also got a Rod of Atos as well. We've seen how good that item can be against Surge on the Doxia.
Yep.
Frank, yep, committing for the point booster, so it is indeed going to be the Aghanim Scepter before he goes for that Linken's. How good is the Linken's in this game? I mean, I guess you don't want to get snowballed to cancel out your Black Hole or get lassoed, right?
Yeah, BKB plus Linken's. It's kind of necessary if you want to have your Black Hole 100% go through. Even with it, I feel like there is a way for them to break it, but they have Aura's Punch and Lasso, right? So.
Ayuk also has himself an Aether Lens. So, Aether Lens, 4-staff.
Does Walrus Punch shouldn't proc Linken's though, right? Am I wrong? Crystal
it's like an auto attack, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the old one used to be able to, but I think this one doesn't. Quick kill on Almisho. Yet again, he is building into the BKB. Already has access to the Crystal Clone, having picked up the shard. And there's the SNY for the Doom, flying out right now towards Vitz. They're going double SNY on the Kunkka as well as the Doom.
It's a pretty good item on these two heroes. Like, nice versus what they're playing as well.
Kunkka gonna get himself lassoed back towards all of these heroes. Crystallis trying to put in the right clicks, but there's that Yule Scepter interrupting the Ursa. He didn't pop his BKB just yet. He uses it now. He goes onto Vitz, trying to fight into the Doom, but the spell comes out. He needs to run away from here. Damage. We'll be able to put him in the snowball, but there's the 2-hero Black Hole. He saw where the snowball was going, prepared for it. They get the spells out. Elmisho on the back line has a huge freezing field going. Boom able to kill him and cancel it with the vacuum, but it's too late for him as Vitz brings him back with the harpoon, kills him off. It is a 3-for-1 affair. Fantastic fight coming in from the South American rejects.
They went on the worst target possible, I feel like. They went on the Kunkka, who's naturally a tanky hero. On top of that, the Sanj, the BKB, just the perfect bait, right? Everything was available on the other side. The Black Hole was actually kind of delayed a little bit. His blink was broken for the longest time. He even had the pre-BKB used. So the BKB didn't really last too long while he was actually Black Holing, but it was still good enough.
Get to see a nice full-throated fight in that one. I like that Vitz actually picked up this Cloak of Flames as well. Like, it's one of these just small little things. More ticks of damage. Top lane, Bulwark, or Bushwhack, not Bulwark, onto the Ember Spirit, but he doesn't have the Doom anymore, so Laranov can easily get out.
They were just forcing him out. Some plays are impossible to get a kill on, and this was one of those. However, I feel it's on Radiant to make a move. There you go, the smoke. When you look at what they've got on the other side, Black Hole, Doom, these are pretty damn long cooldown spells, so every time you lose a fight, brush it off and go again.
Fortunately, everybody's left the area. Seems like South American rejects had a similar idea of what could take place, so they leave, but it does make space for the Roshan to be taken. The big man does roar, but what can they do? Yeah, they're not even trying to approach this area. They're just gonna let it go.
they're pretty much aware of this, right? Like, there is only one play that you can do when you're playing Dooms and Enigmas, and that's eventually get a refresher. And then with the refresher, you can actually win a fight and then have a black hole for Roche.
Here's another fight though. Dark Margot with BKB active. He did get lassoed, but might be able to TP out. No, Snowball gets cancelled. So Dark Margot trying to survive here, but Elmisho, another freezing field with a Blink Dagger. His positioning has been excellent, and now they find the Doom as well on top of the Ember Spirit. Frostbite follows up from Elmisho. Dead Loranov for sure. The position 5 Crystal Maiden ends up carrying the fight super hard for the rejects.
Oh, absolutely. That's a level 23 Konka, by the way. 32 minutes in.
Jeez.
He's filthy farmed. He's rich. Experience is also pretty good. SNY, by the way, another fight where it pretty much makes the case for why this is still a pretty damn good item.
This is what we want to see when you're playing with Doom carry. I want to see this kind of tempo. Whenever it's possible, be doing something. Be up in front in the enemy's faces. Kunkka as well also has a Cloak of Flames. So they have double Cloak of Flames. That's sort of like having a pseudo Iron Shells for your own team.
Pretty much, yeah. The AC, by the way, will be the next item on Wits. I'm a big enjoyer of a Silver Edge as well on Doom, but AC also absolutely goated item. Like, whenever this hero was remotely viable as a position 1, you could buy an AC on him and you wouldn't be wrong.
They could have bought AC on Kunkka as well, but he's opting for the Satanic Hit again. Yules onto Ake. Schofield just wants out. Nice little scurry up the high ground for Schofield, so he's chilling. That'll also finish off basically his Solar Crest. Just needs one more creep to get it. And Ake and the boys are thinking about trying to do something here. They are being outscaled at the moment. It's a 7k lead. These Midases are paying off in the long run.
Yeah, they're being outscaled, and also the impact that these heroes just naturally have currently is higher on Dire. Like, you are playing Black Hole versus Vacuum Wall. I would argue Black Hole almost always has higher impact.
Tormentor number 2. Who's gonna get lucky and be blessed by Gaben this time? Shall be Loranov. Okay. Always nice. Also, I feel bad for Loranov, man. Imagine being Ember Spirit in this patch, having to buy your own Aghanims. Feels bad.
They're not letting him play with the Alchemist, unfortunately, whenever the Ember is in, so... He does have the Aghanims, though, on the bright side, right? Like, he did complete it. He's got Aghanims, Linken's, Mage Slayer. Ember is in a pretty good spot, the highest net worth core on Radiant.
Well, they also just pick up the BKB on the Crystal Maiden. It's actually scary to me how scary this actually is. This should not worry me this much, seeing this item.
Look, it's not only the BKB Blink Crystal Maiden, it's the BKB Blink Crystal Maiden Freezing Field with Black Hole. Oof. You know, the teamfight on Dire is actually pretty damn scary.
And if you manage to survive that, there's a ghost ship crashing on top of your head.
And there's a lot of things.
And they still bushwhack to make sure you don't escape.
Yeah, a lot of circles. Level 18 Enigma now with level 3 Black Hole as well. Aghanim Scepter, of course.
Now they smoke up. They want to leverage all the strength. Kunkka just picked up a Satanic as well. Almost 4,000 HP on Dark Margot.
I just don't want them to initiate on Kunkka again. Every time that they have done that, they've lost the fight after, so...
Now, oh, Crystallis! The hands were in the air for Dark Margot. He was about to X him. He manages to blink onto the high ground.
Quick fingers. Look, he's a professional gamer or something.
They're coming from the other side, though. Look at this. Ike getting caught out by the Doom, immediately brought down. They also get a Yule Scepter out onto Boom. Doom thrown out by Vitz, making sure there's no spells from him. And Elmisho hasn't used the Freezing Field just yet. No need for it. Crystallis, though, comes on the backlines, rips apart the Enigma. That was so smart. He knows that he can't TP out if Enigma's alive. So he kills the one hero that can bring him down. Yes. Unfortunately, Vitz is murdering the rest of your team. It's a triple kill for the Doom.
He's absolutely massive. Just too much damage as well coming with the AC now from Vitz. Middle, and Kunkka is just not killable. He can only poke him here. Nice kill. TP out from Crystallis, honestly. Enigma, I think he forgot to use BKB there. Or he was greeding out with it. Because he didn't use it. He just didn't click BKB, and because of that, he just falls. probably felt very safe after Bat died and also Doom was used on the Darkseer, not really a lot of control. But look at Yamich, like, these players, man, if you leave them a single option to play the thing right, they will do it. And Tusk was the only one available to cancel the Black Hole.
Aegis does now get reclaimed from Crystallis, so doesn't have that additional safety net. It's going for the shard next up. Even after that fight, the gold lead ticked up slightly to 8. This game is still very playable for the side of MOUZ, but feeling increasingly more difficult. Laranov going to go for an Eye of Skadi as his next option here.
Radiant are scanning.
Ake in the gang. Looks like a Shadow Blade is going to be the option for him instead of going for... What minute did he go for the Aghanim's previous game on the Batrider?
Pretty late. It did come after these 3 items, but it was a bit later than in this one. I feel like it's a decent item. Like, he could still go for it, opt for it eventually, right? If he gets... It's interesting that he's going for Shadow Blade. Just wants to stay out of vision.
They're being smoked into right now. 4 heroes off the map. Oh, Laranov went for a rune, but the Lincoln Sphere protect him from getting Doom, but eventually it'll still emerge. X marks the spot, will be there as well. Ghost Ship crashes onto him. He is going to die. El Misho hasn't been able to use the freezing field for a while, so might as well just press the button, ensure that Dark Margo secures his double kill.
It was a really good catch from Crystal Maiden as well. As they were going on Ember, he realized that there could be some saving options from the backlines. Of course, Blinking Snowball save versus the Axe is always an option.
Oh, Lasso! They got onto this Enigma as well as Vitz. Now Crystallis is beating through onto this Doom. BKB's been activated by him. Needs to get out of here. Laranov and Tusk, they both brought back the TP attempt. Will it be valid? Yes,
No
it
way.
will!
Without BKB as well, it ran out.
Oh my goodness, the bashes just weren't there from the Ursa. Kunkka doesn't have that kind of luxury, however, as he will get bashed and killed. But the big prize, the big dog, does manage to get home.
He has Satanic, but he has Satanic, but he can't really hit fast enough. You mentioned the Shadow Blade on Bat. I feel like this Enigma could use one. The way that he's playing, he's being caught out of position way too easily, and sometimes having some Shadow Blade or something like that just to still be close enough, but not in vision, can come in handy. Of course, not compromising your position and not going under cliffs where there might be wards is also a viable option.
Sounds too easy. Gotta, make the game entertaining.
He is. He definitely is. He's got a lot of farm, but that farm doesn't really... doesn't worth much when you're dead.
And also getting to that point in the game, which I'm always scared of when I see like these Doom carries, when the enemy carry can actually kill you during one stun, and you can't do the same back to them. Crystallis really ripped through Vitz. He just needed a little bit more damage. And the next time that happens, Crystallis will also have a Silver Edge, because that's the direction that he's going on for this Ursa.
Yeah, an item that I'm maybe expected on the Doom, but when it comes to the carry-to-carry matchup, it's kind of scary when you Doom the Ursa as well, right? Like, sure, Ursa can turn and fight with the Abyssal, but if he cannot enrage, not too terrible for the Doom. If he can get on top of him. So far, they haven't really been able to isolate Crystallis.
Getting a Bloodstone coming up right now for Boom, in tandem with the Shivas and the Pipe of Insight. He's also got the Prophet's Pendulum, making sure that he has more sustain for himself in the fight, can keep putting out those Ion Shells, throwing out those Surges, elongate the fight as long as possible. South American rejects. They've been punched in the nose. They want to hit back. They smoke up right now. The last fight was started by them. Let's see how this one will go. Dark Margo will show middle through the smoke.
Will he complete the Daedalus? Or will he just go straight up for Lincolns? Because he's got the recipe as well on Kunkka.
I guess he already knows he's going to buy the Demon Edge. We'll see. But he's actually saving the money. I think you're right. He might decide to go in a different direction.
I think he gave up on it, yeah.
They smoke as well from MOUZ. Moving up here into the high ground, Vitz. Ready to pop the smoke. He will be able to do so. He gets out. Schofield might not be so lucky, but the eye shots didn't connect properly. The wall does, however. With the Abyssal Blade, they get him. But there's the black hole from the Enigma, catching two heroes. It's the Ursa and the Dogs here. But where was the Doom? The bonus damage wasn't there. Now the Doom finally arrives. And eventually, he's able to get the spell out onto the Ursa. Ursa falling low. Ursa gets killed off. Yamich tried to save him, but all he does is Doom himself. Two heroes fall. Ursa buying back immediately. Crystallis doesn't want to give up on this fight. The chase is still on. Laranov looking towards the back. He scouts out El Misho underneath the tier 2 tower. Should be able to get the kill onto this Crystal Maiden. She will tick out right now. Flame Guard, Iron Shell, more than enough magic damage.
Look who's up. Look who's in the river. It's Ursa into the pits. That's why he bought back in the first place. And strategically, this is a really good play because, yeah, sure, you trade your buyback, but you know, no black hole on the other side. There is no Doom. So this Roshan attempt is uncontested and it cannot be contested. Aegis Cheese Refresher, definitely worth it to buy back and go into the pit. I think they need Refresher. Like, that's a pretty big item that they could get on Dire, on Enigma, but he's not going for it. Actually, he's going for Octarine Core instead. It's a similar approach. The difference is, currently Refresher is definitely in a worse state than it used to be, because it doesn't refresh items.
Yeah.
So you don't have the double BKB black hole.
To be fair, that should have been quite a long time ago. Not happy I've been playing pubs and not having late game carries with 12 seconds of invulnerability. Oh, it's been wonderful.
The double hexes, insta-kills by invokers as well, you know?
Oh, with this Aegis in tow, MOUZ.
I wonder if Aeon Disc... Hear me out. I'm cooking.
Okay.
Is Aeon Disc on Ursa an actual viable item here? It won't be the first time Crystallis bought it, by the way.
Just to make sure you can always get off the enrage?
Yeah. I don't know, but this Aeon Disc, ever since its inception, I hated the item. But currently, it feels like it's in a pretty decent spot. Like, especially on mid lane. Like, Ember already has his. Every single game when you see a Queen of Pain with the Bloodstone, she goes eventually into the Aeon Disc, just so you can reset the fight.
Radiant are scanning.
Like you said, Crystallis wouldn't be the first time he does something a little bit strange.
He bought it on Alchemist, I think, yesterday, by the way. So, it's, for him, it's an option, if nothing else. For most carries, it's not.
For most carries, at best, you want one defensive item. You have to buy two, bro?
It's hard to make them buy the BKB on its own.
He's going to be going for the Swift Blink next. As his team was smoked up, hoping to catch somebody from South American rejects out on the map. But they're playing together. Oh, Ake ends up dying here in the mid lane. Looks like Vitz was able to catch up to him somehow. But how did he die? What happened? Took the tower. Misho looks like he's gonna probably die here as well. They find the vision, catch him in the trees.
So support per side. Just trying to play the map really, and getting caught. Shadowblade does not really help you on bat any longer. They have too much vision.
Boom, vacuum Schofield onto the high ground, but he gets off with the sharpshooter. Now we're getting bushwhacked, surrounded by Doom and Dark Margot.
That crit was 1500, by the way, from the Doom. It's quite a lot. He's got permanent Scorched Earth, by the way. Literal Doom.
Bringing hell on earth. TP out from the... Whoa, that was close. I was very, very close, but Laranov is cool. Gets out.
A massive part why they had to absolutely bail here is there was no Doom used on Boom, right? So they still had it, so couldn't really fight. If they maybe used Doom on him, maybe there's a fight after, but no way like this.
We just saw how Ake ended up dying. It was the interplay between the Kunkka and the Doom. Vitz now 11-1-5 on this Doom, still at the top of the net worth charts. He is about to cap out in terms of itemization though. Has the overwhelming blink, AC, harpoon, BKB. Not really much more for him to go, unless he's gonna upgrade his Doom.
Can queue up the shards as well.
Is under attack.
Would have been great if he had the shard and the Midas. That would be like the uber greed.
The shard is actually pretty good at that. Like, maybe not as much on position 1 Doom, but it's definitely a very viable core item, I would say, on an offlane Doom, in this last patch at least, because you can take one of the Ancients with increased spell damage and AoE, and you take one of the Ancients with the Ravage. So you have a mini Ravage of your own. It's not even that mini. It's a pretty solid Ravage. An average Ravage.
Sounds like you're rapping, bro. Average Ravage. Is that your rap name?
Yeah. Just average.
Well, this Aegis gonna expire in 30 seconds. Misho will gift the free kill to Chrysalis. Just takes him down in the blink of an eye. This Ursa, we have to remember, he brought back in order to achieve this Aegis, so once it's down, it's like a 2-minute window where if he dies again, has no way back into the game.
He's already saving up though. He's got 4k gold in the bank, making sure that, at least for now, making sure that once the Aegis is gone, he has a way back in. 2 minutes, right?
Yeah. 2 minutes can be a very long time. Now this Aegis has expired.
The thing is, when you're in this kind of a game, I feel like Darkseer as a hero just naturally falls off with every aspect. Like, even his level 25 talents, to me at least, don't feel that incredible. Like, you've got an option between 350 AoE Surge, which is, it's good.
It's alright.
It's alright. And the other one is 2 Iron Shell charges, which, yeah, if you went for the Iron Shell talents, it's okay as well. But it's not permanent Scorched Earth.
Yeah.
You know? And on the other side, you have an Enigma. This is a hero that, through history of Dota, has always been the strongest thing. It's Enigma and Faceless Void. Late game scenario, if you don't have the heroes against them, it's very difficult to take that W.
And of course, since this game has gone on to this duration, as expected, these Midases have really paid off. Doom's even gotten to the point where he sold his Midas.
He sold it a long time ago, by the way. He's been chilling. He's very rich.
But Enigma is dedicated, still utilizing it. Has BKB, has Lincoln Sphere, now also wants the Octarine Core and the Refresher, so all of them are being queued up.
Mid lane.
Mid lane. Trouble could be abounding here for Dark Margo. They don't get him with the slide chain, but they do get him with the lasso. There's the big bear. He is just gone. You might have 4k HP, but when you're dealing with a bear, that HP goes away extremely quickly.
I mean, it was just a beautiful play from Boom. He's the one that caught him. He caught him from the edge of the river onto his own high ground with the vacuum.
Nice.
Like, the repositioning was absolutely insane. He couldn't BKB, of course, because of the lasso, because of the Abyssal. It's a pretty significant catch. If they can force maybe a buyback.
They still have to be very careful about this push. There's an Enigma waiting for them. There's still an El Misho Crystal Maiden with the ultimate. He's building Aghanims, but he's saving for buyback first. Here we go. Roshan's planted on the ground. Tier 3 tower under siege. They will drop this Midnight Pulse. Bushwhack to pull the creeps away from the Roshan's banner. Nicely done by Schofield there. But he's committing Lorinov. He's staying up front. Will get himself back though as soon as Vitz encroaches upon him.
They're kind of hugging because of this AoE surge. It's still a pretty small AoE, you know, that you have to be around your teammates to use it, or they have to be in a ball, and it's scary when you're playing versus Enigma, clumping up like that.
You know, we're in the real late game, and you know it's a very high stakes matchup. Everyone has buyback. Everyone is prepared. Everybody knows that the next fight could be a 10v10 affair.
They gave us like 2 very chaotic games where there was a lot of mistakes, realistically, right? Like just insane laning stages. But this last one is a bit more methodical.
Yeah. Dude, look how even this is. 23 to 23. Nobody's been able to break high ground just yet. Everyone has buybacks.
Was the score of the last game was 38 to 38, I believe, at the end, right? It was also even.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Now we have the Aghanim Scepter on Crystal Maiden. Let's go. Aghanim Scepter on Doom. Let's go. They smoke up South American rejects. They're like, all right, guys, it's time.
I mean, I don't know what else you can wait for. Hex on Hoodwink as well. Just every single hero is absolutely massive.
Although Doom did buy out for this one, so if he dies, it could be very awkward. Lorinov going forward, able to find Schofield, force the Yules onto himself.
The question is, did they scout the Axe Blessing on Doom? Because it's a massive game changer. Suddenly, Ember is not so free to go in and do what he's doing so far.
Roshan, unfortunately, is 2 minutes away. Gaben himself is saying, y'all are going to have to fight, guys.
8k gold, by the way, on Kunkka as well. He can opt to go for the Aghanim Scepter, we'll see. Showing mid.
He smoke again. Man, they really just want this Aegis. Crystallis is like, oh, are you kidding me? It was literally nearly max respawn. 2 minutes 55.
They're surging forward.
Okay, Loranov going forward. They've got a vacuum wall onto Dark Margo, forcing out the early BKB. He's happy to just get back up on the hill, but now BKB is down for 90 seconds.
Yeah, BKB is down for 90 and so is the wall. So a pretty big spell that has been wasted. At this point, wall becomes pretty significant because every single illusion hurts. Every single illusion might bring you something, some sort of an aura, some sort of a buff to your team. So
Ursa has a Silver Edge and still has buyback available. And I'm not sure, you were asking, did they scout out the Doom Aghanim's Blessing? If they didn't scout out the Silver Edge, it could also be a big surprise in the ramp up of damage.
keep in mind, Refresher Enigma, Doom Aghanim's Blessing. I would say this Refresher Enigma is maybe the biggest item purchase that we've had in a bit.
Yeah, but he bought out for it. He dies first, makes a mistake. Could be a game losing. Ike was looking for the lasso, gets dragged back in by Doom instead and just gets 3-shot.
Hex on
Now
Ember.
we get the Hex Black Hole onto the Ember Spirit. Loranov is in some danger. He's not going to be able to get out. Frank, he's trying to refresh and get the second Black Hole, but the AoE Doom, it prevents the Ursa from doing anything. The second Black Hole emerges. They've caught absolutely everybody. Doom is just running around, inhibiting everybody from MOUZ from doing anything. Loranov ends up dead. Again, it's a dieback on the Ember. 2 minutes in the grave.
Can they rush?
The rest of his team bought back though. Can they rush? That's the question. Ursa is inside the pit. But now the information has been given away. Doom is gonna try get back in here. He's coming closer. I mean, they're gonna try.
I don't think they can rush. On Radiant, they cannot at least. They had to move back after the roar. There's no BKB on Ursa. Man, the AoE from the Doom just absolutely winning this team fight.
Okay, boom. Back wall onto 2.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Gets X marked though into an open position. They force a buyback out onto the Tusk. Hex onto the Ursa. Oh no! Hex bushwhack. Everything used. Yamit tries to save him with the drinking buddies. The enrage will come out from the Ursa, but he's out of HP, so he has to run away from the fight. El Misho looked for him on the high ground, could not find him. He will live on Ursa, but forced to leave Boom behind, who gets caught and killed by the rest of the South American rejects. Fight's not over just yet. Yamich
Seems like
able to get out.
Yeah, drinking buddies, man. What a spell. What a shard to get on Tusk. Literally saving Ursa in this scenario. Plus the Silver Edge that he recently purchased, of course, helping out a little bit. Does not help out in the pit, of course, as they now will have the shard, the cheese, the Aegis as well, and so many buybacks on Radiant. I believe like every single hero bought back. Ember dying back too. Exactly like the Darks here.
You know, you were mentioning earlier how it's an Enigma dream game, right? All these melee heroes clumped together. But with the Aghanim's Doom, it's even better.
Yep, I mean, absolutely. The Aeon Disc did save them for a little while in the initial black hole, but he managed to use another one. I think there was a small part of that massive fight where Enigma got vacuumed away from the Ursa, which allowed him to use another black hole. Came in handy.
What a fight. Now, buildings are about to get knocked over. The demolition crew has emerged.
Can I just highlight one neutral item? Check Enigma.
Enigma?
Yeah.
Oh, bro. 55 minutes in the game. He still got a dormant curio.
Hey, can you just give us the 16-minute mark, guys? Go back.
Yeah, just go back, guys.
Farm up. I want to see the dormant curio on El Misho, of course. I mean, Enchantress Bauble. If he gets a nice tier 5 item, like, I mean, they're playing the long con. They truly are. You know, they're in for this. They knew what they were playing for and what they were waiting for.
Seems like despite a lot of young players on the team, got some Warcraft veterans because they know that greed is good.
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon. Schofield now has a Wind Waker. which is terrifying to have to deal with. All of a sudden, that Blink Lasso from Ake, I mean, he's been struggling to find impact with it already in the last couple of engagements, but now there's no chance that the Lasso ever kills anybody.
Actually, speaking of Wind Waker and speaking of Yules, surprised no one bought it on Radiant.
Yeah.
I mean, even on Darkseer, you know, like you're pretty rich. If they could buy it, they could have bought it earlier versus Kunkka, because it's pretty good against him, right? Like, but overall, it's so good versus Black Hole.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Top tower knocked over. They are coming for the Megas. They drop the banner as well to protect the double Siege Wagon. With double Siege Wagons, Eidolons out the wazoo. This is scary. This could be the last fight, chillers. Smoke up from MOUZ.
They have to fight somehow around, because 4 melee heroes cannot reach the banner. Like, you just can't get to it.
Vitz is just waiting on the high ground, prepared to break these smokes. He goes in, immediately finds the Ursa. They need to get him out of here, but they can't do it just yet. Finally, Ursa's able to leave, but that's because there's a black hole onto 3 heroes right behind him. 2 of them down for the count. The third will join them. Lorinov did what he could to interrupt it, but he literally can't do anything. Schofield finds him with the Yule Scepter, catches him with the Bushwhack. They also go on to Crystallis, who came and at least eliminated El Micho. But that's the most that he can do, the extent of his prowess. Doom gets refreshed, applied again to the Ember Spirit. GG is called. MOUZ are out. The South American rejects have done it. They have earned a spot at the playoffs.
SA Dota, man. Kudos to MOUZ for doing everything that they could in these last 3 games. A lot of nice comebacks, but SA Dota in the end coming out too strong.